look at this building, Boardwalk Hall. An unbelievable setting for a championship, Nick. I mean, there is not a seat to be had here at Boardwalk Hall. Standing room only, upwards of 10,000 people here.
Season record of 43-2 and a career record of 101-8. He's a two-time district champion.
So we will start now at 170 pounds. You're looking at Billy Janzer from the Crusaders of Delsea High School. Janzer, who took third a year ago as a sophomore, back as a junior. He's got his work cut out for him. Janzer, this right there is Billy Janzer in the red. Took third last year as a sophomore. Was hurt as a freshman. 43-2 for Janzer. A moment ago, you saw Dominic Mandarino. Mandarino in the Don Bosco maroon, and there is Dominic Mandarino. Two guys seeking their first title. Mandarino was a medalist a year ago, but it's now or never for Mandarino because he is a senior.
Jimmy, this is the first period. This is where these guys are going to feel each other out. They're going to try to get a feel for one another. And right now, this is a chess match. They're looking to set each other up. They're looking to get that first takedown. That first takedown is big, especially with everything on the line.
I mean, these guys have wrestled. Mandarino, this is his 26th bout of the year. And Janzer at 43-2. But this one just has to feel different. It's the final.
Wait, exactly. When you're in the final, state final championship, in a state finals, you want, I mean, this is what you've worked for the last 3.5 months. Jimmy, nobody would remember if you lost in December, if you win a state title. They're not going to talk about that loss in December. They're going to talk about, hey, did you win the state title? And this is exactly what's on the line.
And there's always the balance, the fine line of coming out too aggressive, too pumped up. Do you leave yourself vulnerable? But then there's the other side of that. You never want to look back at the state final and say, I wasn't aggressive enough.
That's a great point, Jimmy. You have guys that basically tighten up in these situations, and you don't want to have that happen now. But when you get to a state finals, you're seasoned. You've been there before. You've been in big events. You've had this opportunity to get on a big stage before. So these guys are there because of that. They're able to fight through, and they're able to wrestle to the best of their abilities in these big matches.
So no score here. First period as we are underway at historic Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City. News 12 Varsity's wall-to-wall coverage of the New Jersey State Wrestling Championships. A super Saturday night of semifinals has taken us to this, the finals, here on Sunday afternoon in AC. Final seconds of period number one. It'll end with no points on the board.
This is a big flip right here. Right now, Delsea, he has the opportunity to go down, score first, and that's big. Janzer, if Janzer scores first, if it comes down to a sudden victory or a ride out, he has choice in that situation, and he does. He gets right out.
So Janzer will pick up a point on the escape. Janzer Jr. picked up his 100th victory of his career this year. Mandarino also over the century mark at 104 wins. Mandarino, district champion, two-time region champ. Janzer, two-time district champ and a two-time region champ. They both come in with credentials, but are both looking for that coveted first state title.
Janzer working that underhook right now, trying to bull him over with that little, almost like a pancake on the edge of the mat.
So just over a minute left here. Period number two. We will start this spectacular day of wrestling at 170 pounds. There is some strategy to that alignment as they will wind up for the main events in this 2017 New Jersey Finals. At 152 and 160, you will have 4 state champions entering those matches. Those will be our final 2 matches of the day. 4 state champs.
You know, Janzer, since the opening bell, what he's been doing is he's been working that underhook. Just can't get that head position. Mandarino's doing a really, and he almost throws him on his back right on the edge. But Mandarino's not giving in. He's not giving Janzer his tie-up. He's not letting him feel comfortable in what he's trying to create there. So, you know, Mandarino's doing a good job right now.
Janzer will back off and will go to the third period. And Billy Janzer looks over to his coaches, knowing he is 2 minutes away from his first ever state title. But the ever so slim 1-0 lead has now disappeared. He lets Mandarino out. We are tied at 1. A little South Jersey, North Jersey matchup. Delsea the Crusaders out of South Jersey. Of course, Don Bosco Prep. Ramsey, New Jersey up north. Final 90 seconds now, tied at 1. Janzer working on top, out of bounds they'll go, and they'll restart with a minute and change. Now we'll have some injury time. Some blood has appeared on the lip of Dominic Mandarino.
You know, Mandarino, Janzer has been creating a lot of action, and he's been forcing Mandarino out of bounds quite a bit. You know, a lot of times what happens is, Jimmy, you stand the risk of getting hit with a stalling warning. And, you know, right now, this is a 1-1 match. There has to be some aggression. There has to be some sense of urgency. You don't want it to go into overtime. You want to end it in regulation. So right now, these guys have to, you know, get this takedown, work it, set it up, and hit a nice, solid shot.
Both of these wrestlers lost in the semifinals a year ago. They've bettered that and taken the next step into the finals this year. Mandarino a year ago at 152. Janzer a year ago at 160. Now at 170. They are in a 1-minute dogfight for the state title, tied at 1.
You hear it in the crowd. There he goes for that underhook again. You're hearing it in the crowd. You know, listen, the aggressor is Janzer. Oh, nice little shot. Little knee pull shot there by Mandarino. Makes it look good.
Final 40 seconds now.
And he did get hit with that warning.
So Mandarino hit with the stall warning. 30 seconds left here.
Oh, nice knee pull by Janzer. Can he finish if he gets that ankle? If he gets that ankle, he should be pulling him all the way in. Oh, and Mandarino gets out of that, kicks out of that. And let me tell you, Jimmy, in those situations, you know, you risk getting fleeing the mat, but I think they're not going to decide a state title on fleeing the mat with less than 15 seconds left.
Final 10 seconds now in regulation. Tied at 1. Time for one last shot in the final 5 here. Not going to happen. And we will go to overtime.
Oh, nice throw by. Underhook. He threw that underhook into a single, a high single. Just couldn't capitalize on it. Right now, the first minute is from your feet. If there's no score right now after this, Jimmy, they go down. The one man goes down. If he gets out, they have to keep wrestling, and then the other man has an opportunity to go down. But in the sudden victory, whoever scored first gets the opportunity to choose what he wants, and usually they go down because in their interpretation is nobody's going to hold me for 30 seconds. That's why I'm going to pick down and get out on this guy and win it. That's why that first point scored is so important. So right now they're in that first overtime from their feet.
1 minute of OT. Final 10 seconds here once again.
You know, Mandarino's putting a lot of pressure on this referee, to not bang him for another warning, which would end the match because it's 1 point.
That will end OT number 1. So here we go.
Here we go. Now they go to the flip of the disc. It's Mandarino's choice. He's going to go down. Now, if he gets out, or if Janzer can ride him, Janzer wins the match.
We're in sudden victory time now.
Oh, I'm sorry. He gets an opportunity to get out next 30-second period.
To their feet.
Now they keep wrestling here. Now, if he gets a takedown right now, Janzer, he has this time to score.
Mandarino on the escape now has a 1-point lead. Final seconds, Janzer.
4 seconds. Can Janzer hold on? Wow. That was the first legitimate opportunity that Mandarino had at a score. And it came with 5 seconds left in the first ride out.
So here we go to number 2. Janzer on the bottom. Dominic Mandarino up a point.
Wow. This is 20 seconds left. I'll tell you right now, if Mandarino does that again and drops to a leg, that referee's going to hit him. He's not going to let Mandarino win like that.
Janzer to his feet.
Oh, if he gets a reversal. No, he gets we're all tied up here, Jimmy.
Tied at 2, so Billy Janzer would not be denied. Janzer will now choose down.
Now this is where this is so important, and we had spoken about this in the first period or the second period when he looks like Mandarino's going to take a timeout, an injury timeout. But in the second period, when Janzer scored that first point, I mentioned this, and here we are. It's his decision. It's his. He gets the choice here now in sudden victory, it's called. If Janzer... Okay, let's go back and let's take a look at this.
So Janzer here was down 2-1 to Mandarino.
And here he is. He gets that nice little, almost a switch position, and then comes to his feet and gets that 1 point.
So here we go at 170. Billy Janzer of Delsea chooses down. An escape would bring him a state title.
Bottom line, you ride him, you win. You get out, you win.
30 seconds for it all. Janzer to his feet. The clock will stop with 22. Dominic Mandarino of Don Bosco Prep lost to the semis a year ago, trying to ride out to his first state title. Janzer to his feet. Janzer looking to escape. Final 15 seconds.
Right now, that was a good stoppage. That was a very good stoppage. The first one in sudden victory has to be a stalemate. Now we can hit him with a stalling.
13 seconds left. At 170, the final 10. Janzer desperately trying to get out. Mandarino hanging on. Janzer at the horn gets the escape. And Billy Janzer is a New Jersey state champion at 170 pounds.
Unbelievable win for Janzer. Janzer had it at the edge. Let me tell you, a lot of referees would not call that loss of control, but that was a good call. And let me tell you something, Janzer was the aggressor from the beginning. Janzer deserved to win that match in regards to, being the aggressor. That's nothing to take away from Mandarino. Mandarino had a great season, and he was right in the mix up until that escape.
So Billy Janzer wins it for the Crusaders. What a way to start, Amanda. So many storylines in the building today. We go to Amanda Puglisi, working the sidelines all day. How are you, Amanda?
Well, Jimmy, you know, when we get to this point, the New Jersey State Championship, it's all about the journey. And for Kyle Leitner, who we're going to see in just a little bit from Del Valley, some may say his journey started when he was just 7 years old. Now, I spoke to his coach earlier today, and his coach said to me he actually met Kyle when he was just 7 years old, and Coach's father, Vince, who used to coach at Del Valley, introduced him to his son and said, you see Kyle right here, he may only be 7 years old. He's going to win a state championship for you. So, guys, we're just a few minutes away from seeing if that prediction comes true.
All right, Amanda, thank you. Family business in so many aspects, the sport of wrestling. Fathers and sons, brothers. So we had extra wrestling here at 170 pounds. So now to 182 pounds. You are looking at George Walton for the Crusaders of Bound Brook, the 2 seed. Took 4th a year ago at 170. Wrestling in the corner of Coach Kyle Cleary. He'll be taking on Scotch Plains Fanwood High's Sam Wusterfeld. What a story Sam has been for the Raiders. A 9 seed is the junior, a guy who never placed before. Nick, he beat the #1 seed Shane Sasinski of Northern Highlands in the quarters, and in the semi had an overtime victory to get here. What a ride, what a run for Sam Wusterfeld.
Well, Wusterfeld, he has had an incredible tournament in all sense of the words. And, you know, George Walton, in his own right, has had a fantastic tournament. Even though he's the 2nd seed, he has done a fantastic job. He had a real tough semifinal match, winning 6-5 in that match. But he's one of 3 Bound Brook wrestlers to be in the finals right now.
So Wusterfeld in white, George Walton in the black trim with red and white. Just underway here at 182. 2 wrestlers seeking their first state title.
It's a beautiful, you know, Walton is so explosive, Jimmy. He hit that nice little arm drag, that little short drag, and almost had 2 on the edge, but his foot did go out of bounds. Good call by the referee.
Wusterfeld, 45-3 on the season. Qualified for the States a year ago, 2-time district champ. He won the Region 4 championship
nice
this
knee
season.
Pull. Can Wusterfeld pull off this Cinderella ride that he's had in the state tournament, or will Walton be just too tough for him?
Walton, a 3-time district champ, 2-time region champ.
Wusterfeld had a body lock on Walton, couldn't finish it, and Walton got away with almost a definite takedown right there. Walton has that leg high on Wusterfeld. Right now he's got to kick that leg out, finish that off, and he comes to the head. Oh, and he puts Wusterfeld almost on his back.
He'll pick up a deuce here on a takedown with George Walton. So George Walton, the senior, 109 wins in his career, an outstanding career. The 110th win of his career would last a lifetime.
It would be the most meaningful win of his career, of his high school wrestling career. And, you know, being a state all-state gives you that taste. Sometimes these guys need to get on that podium as we come to the end of the first period. But, Jimmy, they need to be on that podium. Now, right here, He gets that leg up real high, Walton Worsterfield, and instead of kicking it out, pulls on that collar tie and almost gets him right on his back. Nice finish, textbook finish right there by George Walton.
Period number 2 now. Walton will pick up a single. On the escape now, leads it 3-0. Worsterfeld beat L.J. Castellano of Del Barton in overtime in the semis. That let everybody know his epic victory over the top seed Shane Sosinski in the quarters was no fluke.
Nice shot, but can't finish. Worsterfeld is just so tough. He's really tough to score on. You don't get to be 45-3 in New Jersey and not have this talent. I mean, Worsterfeld is, like I said, his seed doesn't indicate how good he really is.
Final minute now, period number 2.
It's a nice little elbow pass there, attempt by Worsterfield. Elbow pass into a straight single, but just couldn't get in on Walton. Walton's real tough and real athletic, and just shrugged him off on the out of bounds, right by the out of bounds. Goes for those double underhooks again, Worsterfield. Feels very comfortable in that upper body. Oh, nice knee pick. Beautiful knee pick by Worsterfeld, and he did not give him the 2, but it was close. His feet were in.
Referee's going to come together now and talk about this, and he will get the deuce.
Watch this right now. He has an underhook. He comes in, he knee picks him right there, and he kept his toes in. That's why he kept his feet in. That's why he got the 2 points.
So great athleticism there by Sam Worsterfeld. So Coach Kyle Cleary now talking to George Walton as this bout has gotten a little closer now. Only 1 point separates these two guys. So Worsterfeld now, 29 seconds left, working on top for the Raiders of Scotch Plains Fanwood.
This is a big point for Walton. Very big point, because it's going to be Worsterfeld's choice in the 3rd period. So with an escape, he can tie it up. So he has to hold him here. Just about 15 seconds left.
Couple of strong cats out there right now. You could just feel the strength of these two guys oozing off the mat. Final 10 seconds now, period number 2.
Once again, this is a really big point for Walton and a big point for Worsterfield to try to hold him down with 4 seconds. Looks like he's going to ride him out here, and I would bet you he's going to go down right now and try to tie this thing up. And we're going into a big-time match right here. This is a real exciting match between these two young men.
Sam Worsterfeld gets a look from the coaches now, trying to win his first ever state title. He trails by a point to George Walton of Bound Brook. And now, on the escape, we are deadlocked at 3 apiece.
Oh, little duck attempt by Worsterfield. Gets that underhook. Oh! And let me tell you, Walton went big there. Went for that lateral drop, went big. But Worsterfield, he kind of posted out on him. Let's look at this right here. Gets that underhook, and right there, Walton tries to take him to his back, and a nice little lateral drop. Doesn't capitalize, but what an attempt by Walton.
90 seconds left now at 182. George Walton of Bound Brook in the black and red, the 2 seed, taking on the 9 seed, Sam Worsterfeld. good action in this bout at 182. You just feel like there's one more big move left in this match.
You know, you never know with these two because the history of this match shows that neither one of them are really afraid to go big, and that's exciting.
Under 1 minute left now.
Wants to feel better when he's in that over and under position. He really has to be careful because if he pushes too much, that's setting that lateral up or a big throw for Walton.
45 seconds left now, tied at 3. So we'll restart it here. 28 seconds left. 182-pound New Jersey final.
Nice
Here's a
double.
shot by
Can he
Walton.
finish? Oh, nice, beautiful double
Here's the
leg.
2.
Nice double leg by Walton right there, and good finish. And that's what you have to do against the wrestler. With 8 seconds left, it looks like Walton's going to hang on for this, even if Westerfield gets out.
George Walton of Bound Brook, who came here a year ago and finished 4th at 170. Not this time! Georgie Boy Walton is a state champ at 182 pounds. The Crusaders of Bound Brook are in the house.
Great match. Jimmy, that was a really close match, but an exciting match.
Well, opportunity knocked when Brandon Key, the defending champ, the #1 seed, was removed from the equation due to injury. Key couldn't go. Walton and Worcesterfeld to the finals, and George Walton wins the state championship.
Okay, here you go. Nice. He sets it up, moving his feet, gets in on that double and drives right through, tries the inside leg chip, but then powers through on a nice little angle there and gets the 2 right at the end. Good job by George Walton.
You know, it's just one of those things. The defending champ, Brandon Key, would have been the top seed. He gets hurt. If you're in the 182 bracket, you just felt like there was more of an opportunity when the defending champ gets hurt. George Walton took advantage of it.
Absolutely, but you know what? This is the way you have to look at it. You can't worry about who's not there. You worry about who is there. And the people that were there, George Walton beat them all, and he's a state champ.
Junior season record of 41-2 and a career record of 63-12. Was a two-time district champion. In the regions, took second in 2016, region champion in 2017. From Delaware Valley, Kyle Leiter. His opponent, the number 8
So now, the aforementioned Kyle Leitner, Delaware Valley High School, as we go to 195.
three-time district champion and a two-time region champion from Collingswood High School, Michael Tulane.
And this is Michael Tulane out of Collingswood High School. Tulane, the 8th seed. And Tulane beat the #1 seed, Matt McKenzie, in the quarters. 4-2 in overtime. Both these guys seeking their first state championship of their careers. Leitner, the 3 seed. Delaware Valley hasn't had a state champ since the late, great Dan Kelly in 2007. Dan Kelly was terrific. So here we go at 195. Leitner in the blue and gold, Tulane in the all gold.
Both of these wrestlers, Jimmy, did not get on the stand last year, so this is a big, big opportunity for both of them. Not only to get on the stand, they're both finalists. They're both going to be either runner-up or a state champ, but to claim that state title. Talane's a senior. This is his last shot.
So Tulane out of Collingswood High Both these guys similar build, stoutly built at 195. No real height differential here. Just a little muscle mass on muscle mass. Leitner, the 3 seed, Delaware Valley High School. That's right in Frenchtown on the Delaware River. That is out there. But the one thing you love about the New Jersey State Finals, it encompasses the entire state of New Jersey. Literally from Montvale to Frenchtown.
And it's also one state champ. As Leitner gets in there and padlocks that ankle and gets his 2. You know, Talane had that leg in there and could have came around and got a side headlock, which would have been a Merkel position, and he would have got the 2. But I think Leitner felt it, had that sixth sense in his head going off and kind of pushed that arm over and got behind him for his 2. So that could have went either way.
So Leitner, the junior, looking for his 42nd win on the season. District 17 champ. Region 5 champ was Leitner. Stalemate now. Final seconds now, period number 1. And Kyle Leitner will see the first period end of 2. One thing about a guy like Michael Talane, Nick, when you beat the number 1 seed in the quarters, it gives you a world of confidence heading into that semis, and he showed it by getting here to the finals.
Oh, he has that half locked up. Oh, let me tell you something. Talane was in a little bit of trouble. Oh, and he's got a side cradle. He better keep that leg back or he's going to get in a bad position with Leitner. Leitner had 2 situations right there, Jimmy, where he could have put Talane on his back, and Talane stayed out of that. But you're right. You beat the first seed in a tournament, and that gives you the confidence to know that you could beat just about anyone because they expected him to beat everyone as getting the first seed or however the points shook out. But both of these wrestlers, you know, over 40 wins in the state of New Jersey is just an amazing feat in itself. So, you know, that these guys are champions in their own right, and they are studs.
Yeah, these 2 guys combined 81-3 on the season. Right now, Kyle Leitner working from on top, has a 2-0 lead with 1 minute left here in this second period.
Right now, Leitner puts in a leg. Puts that boot in, trying that power half on Talane. Let's see if he can get him over. Right now, he's got to crack that hip. He's got that leg in. If he can crack that hip over and try to get a couple of little back points, maybe a quick tilt right here, it would do a tremendous job going into the third period for Leitner.
Stalemate now with 24 seconds left in this second period. Talane yet to get on the board here.
This is a big point right now for Talane. Big point, because if he can get out and Leitner gets out in the third period, you're only a takedown away with just about 10 seconds left in this period. Oh, that was big. That's a big, big penalty point given up by Leitner. He gets called for locking hands, which is 1 point for Talane.
So Talane will get on the board on the hand lock.
You get a quick escape here.
We will go to the third period at 195 pounds. two wrestlers separated by 1 point. Kyle Leitner out of Delaware Valley High School on the bottom. The 3 seed taking on Michael Tulane now. Tulane working on top out of Collingswood High. Leitner picks up 1.
Gives him that escape, because you know what? A tough, hard-nosed kid like Leitner, who is not easy to turn. The strategy here is, Jimmy, give him the point, get down by a takedown, and then go after him. Now you have more time to set up your takedowns and get that takedown to tie it up.
So Tulane now to his feet. It is go time now for Michael Tulane. Under 1 minute left at 195 pounds, and he trails by 2.
Right now, Leitner's holding that wrist down there. You know, that could be considered stalling, just holding that. But he calls a stalemate. That's a good call by the referee.
Back to their feet we go. Final 45 seconds. Delaware Valley hasn't had a participant in the finals since 2010.
Nice swing single attempt right there. He's got to get that wrist free, and he's got to come after him. He's got just about 20 seconds left, Jimmy. Tulane, he's a senior. He's got to go for it.
The junior Kyle Leitner up by 2, final 10 seconds. Leitner trying to hang on and ride it out. Final seconds now. Kyle Leitner puts a stamp on it with a final deuce, and Leitner is a New Jersey state champion for the first time of his career. Rock solid performance by Leitner at 195. Great family moment for the Leitners as Kyle rings the bell at Boardwalk Hall. What a match. At 182 pounds, the Crusaders of Bellbrook saw George Walton take home the top prize. He's with Amanda.
Well, George, you finished 4th last year. You are now a state champion. What was the difference this year compared to last?
I worked harder in the summer. I had to, focus on getting better on my feet, getting better on top, getting better in every position. And I had to work with a lot of different coaches, but one that, helped me a lot was my recreation coach who I grew up with. His name is Coach West, and he helped me a lot. He helped me with just everything, becoming a better person, and I thank him for that.
You started that third, you had just a 1-point lead. Quickly, it was tied up. What was your game plan from that moment on?
To not lose the match. That was going through my head, that even if I'm tired, I got to keep pushing through it, because at the end, it'll all be worth it.
You found yourself now with a 2-point lead with just 30 seconds left. Were you counting down the seconds until the whistle blew?
I didn't even want to look at the clock. I just wanted to hold them on the mat and then look up when it's all over and could finally say that I'm a state champ.
Well, George, congratulations, and yes, you are a state champion. Jimmy, back to you.
Great stuff there, great stuff for George Walton. Walton will be at the top of the podium in a moment. As you see the 170-pounders and Billy Janzer. And boy, for Janzer, that's got to feel good holding that placard with his name in the one spot that matters.
Let me tell you, Jimmy, when you're up there all the nights of sucking weight and not eating and all the runs and all the dedication that you put into it, all the times that you felt like, wow, this is just crazy and I'm working hard and I'm doing it, when you're on the top of that podium, none of that matters anymore. All you're thinking about is, I'm a state champ, and it's the best feeling in the world. Great job by Billy Janzer. great season.
Some great photos here. New Jersey does such a wonderful job at running this event. Outstanding officials, great organization. It's just a great building. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than to be in a place like Boardwalk Hall, a place that's had everything from Frank Sinatra and the Beatles to Mike Tyson and Sugar Ray Leonard to the 1964 Democratic National Convention. Are you kidding me? A lot of history here.
It's just such a great setting for a state championship. And these kids, I mean, they're walking in these halls where legends have walked. They're walking and they're putting it all on the line and they're wrestling. And this is a big event every year.
It's undoubtedly the biggest high school event in New Jersey when you think about just the sheer number of people that'll walk through the doors here this weekend. I mean, you might have a miscellaneous Don Bosco Bergen Catholic football game at MetLife Stadium that draws over 10,000, but this is really special.
This is so amazing. When you look around, it looks like it's almost sold out in here. I mean, just amazing. And the energy and the excitement when someone hits a single leg or a double leg, it's like an explosion. Fireworks are going off. I mean, just a great atmosphere for wrestling. What a great building.
So now we go to 220 pounds. And here's the senior from Howell, Eric Kessian. Eric, the 3 seed. Wrestling in his final match for Howell. Last state title for Howell was 2008, Joey Langle. Joey now the assistant coach at Howell. Kessian, his next stop will be to represent our nation. He is bound for West Point, Army. 8th last year at 220 for Kessian. He made the jump now to the finals. But taking on Don Bosco Preps, left side of your screen, Peter Asciardi, the junior. Peter has won a lot of tight matches. Both these guys looking for their first ever state title.
Well, that's what you have to do. When you win tight matches in a tournament as tough as the New Jersey State Championships, you have to have a short memory. You can't go in there and say, okay, I only beat this guy by 1 point, and I won in overtime. What you have to do is you have to put it behind you. Nice shot, nice single leg by Kessian. Let's see if he can capitalize on this beautiful shot right now on Asciardi. Nice, and he's got a Turk. If he can elevate that Turk right there and circle towards his head, he might get some backs out of this, Jimmy.
So Kessian picking up a couple points here.
Kessian gets him on his back. But did he get swipes? The referee, the official says no. But he still got that Turk in place. Can he elevate?
So Eric Kessian, the 3 seed. What a win Kessian had in the semis. A last-second takedown in double overtime as he beat Zach Del Vecchio of South Plainfield. He is carrying that momentum into the finals.
Had an opportunity to watch both these wrestlers yesterday in their semifinal matches, and they were both real exciting matches. Asciardi beat Lacombe in the last seconds, got some back points on Lacombe as we get hit with a stalemate. But both of them had exciting matches yesterday in the semis. So, they've had a day to rest. They've had a day to reflect and work on some game plans against each other. It's not like the old days, Jimmy, where you had no intel on guys. All you got to do is go to YouTube and find out somebody wrestling and see what they do. And both these guys know what each other do. But Kessian is just looking real tough right here.
Asciardi trying to break free to get that point on the board. He will not be able to.
Nice. Way to ride. Good riding job by Kessian to hold Asciardi down.
Final 10 seconds
Oh,
now.
he lets him out with
One.
6 seconds.
On the back door, he'll pick up a point on the escape. Well, Peter Asciardi, so Don Bosco's junior, 33 wins on the season, cuts the lead in half. Second period now underway. 220-pound final. The big dogs are into the building here. Working on top, Don Bosco Preps, Peter Asciardi.
Oh, he got that. He almost had Pat Merkel set up, but you know what? He's good. He actually went through. Oh, he has a reverse half. Kessian, and he gets a pin. Oh my God! What a dramatic fashion. He had the Merkel. He went for it, and at the last second, Kessian took that leg out. Jimmy, unbelievable.
Kessian of Howell is a state champ in emphatic fashion. Eric Kessian. He will go to Army next year as the New Jersey 220-pound state champ. Howell's first title since 2008. Watch it again.
Unbelievable here, Jimmy. He gets in. AC Artie's looking for that Merkel, going to try to hook that leg and get that side headlock. If you notice, that's when Kessian grabs that leg and stops him and gets immediately into a reverse half Nelson, and he gets that big pin. Look at that excitement. That's the excitement of a state champion.
What a moment there at 220. What a day we have going here in Atlantic City at 170. Billy Janser won the title. The Crusader is with Amanda.
Well, Bill, I don't know if anyone could have asked for a better start to the championships. Not only did you go to sudden victory, but you also went to the ultimate tiebreaker. Are you exhausted? How are you feeling?
Yeah. After the match, I was so excited. I didn't even realize that I was tired. But once all my emotions settled down, I was dead tired. I could barely walk up the steps. It was awesome.
Walk me through what was going through your mind with the ultimate tiebreaker. You did start on the bottom, so what was your plan?
My coaches told me before we went to overtime that I was the first person to score, so if it came down to that, it would be my choice. So I knew no matter what happened in those first two periods of top and bottom, it was my choice in the ultimate tiebreaker, and I figured if I picked bottom, I could get out and win.
You faced Mandarino in December, and he beat you. So what did you learn from that match that helped you today?
After that match, basically, I knew everything that Mandarino does, and we studied the tape because there was a video of me wrestling him, and I just watched what I did wrong and watched everything he did, and all year we just worked on being able to counter his attacks and get to my offense.
Thanks so much, Bill. Congratulations.
Wow, how about that celebration by Janser? You know, Nick, you've been around the high school wrestling championships in New York State for a long time and New Jersey. There is nothing like the moment at the Horn when these kids realize their dreams have been real.
You know, it is an amazing feeling, and, you know, you hate to even talk about yourself, but I won a state title in high school, and I remember that feeling. I ran up into the crowd and grabbed my parents and my brother, and it's just almost a euphoric feeling, Jimmy, because it's everything, especially if it's your first one. I mean, you know, every one of them is great, but if it's your first one, it's just that euphoric feeling where you're almost overwhelmed with emotion because everything has come together for you as a wrestler. It's amazing.
And a moment ago, Eric Kessian, I mean, when you think about Kessian at 220, he nearly saw his Atlantic City trip come to an end in the semis. He gets a late takedown in double overtime to sort of survive and advance in the semis, and then a pin in the finals. Amazing.
It really was amazing. Kessian, when he was in that semifinal match yesterday, the place exploded when he got that takedown at the last second. And literally, there were seconds on the clock when he got the takedown to win the match. It was an amazing ride for him. And then he comes to the finals here against AC Artie, who is I believe he was the first seed, and knocks off the first seed in the finals. I mean, just an amazing job by Kessian.
Peter Asiardi, one of 3 Don Bosco prep wrestlers to be in the finals. Don Bosco, Bergen Catholic, each have 3 wrestlers in the finals. Bergen Catholic, Dave Bell's club, who won 4 state titles a year ago. They come back with 3 wrestlers. Don Bosco, 3 wrestlers in the finals, and here is the last of them. And he is the defending heavyweight champ of New Jersey, Eric Chaconis, the Bucknell-bound senior who continued the Chaconis tradition. His brother Zach was the 2015 champ. Eric Chaconis won it a year ago as a junior. He comes back for the famous final scene of his career to defend his heavyweight title.
Chaconis, I tell you, I've had an opportunity to watch Chaconis in a lot of different events, and just really solid, complete wrestler. Wrestles very well in big matches. He's wrestling, obviously, a real tough Alexander Lagrippo. Big boy right here. And both of them move like small guys. They very athletic.
Lagrippo, a senior, the 7th seed out of Woodbridge High School, Middlesex County. Mike Carbone's his coach. Lagrippo seeking his first state title. To get it, boy, is he going to have to earn it. Because the Chaconas Cradle has been alive and kicking here at Boardwalk Hall for 2 years running. Zach wins it in 2015. Eric wins it in 2016. The family belt is on the line once again. And here we go in the heavies here for the New Jersey State title.
Lagrippo trying to get... Oh! Goes big right off the bat. Chaconas tries those double overs, almost like a side lateral with double overhooks. In between a lateral drop and a salto. Unbelievable. Chaconas went big.
Chaconas, football, wrestling standout. Played for the legendary football coach Greg Toll at Don Bosco at the point of attack. Now trying to back up his title.
Oh, nice single leg by Chaconas. Just like I said prior, just before the whistle blew, he wrestles like a small guy. He'll go for those shots. And, to take down a big boy like Lagrippo, you have to hit it perfectly. You can't just hit that halfway, because if you do, you're going to get caught underneath that, all that weight.
Lagrippo opportunistic in getting here as the 7th seed. It opened up for him when the 2 seed, Nick Rivera, the senior, out of Brick Memorial, the 2 seed,
he's got that cradle locked up. He's got a cradle locked up. Can he get a pin? Can he get that pin? He's got him on his back. He's got him in trouble.
Eric Chaconas trying to bring the belt home, and he will! Easy E brings down the house at Boardwalk Hall once again. It's a back-to-back for Chaconas. And the Chaconas boys have done it again in AC.
Unbelievable. Jimmy, 2 big pins back-to-back in the heavyweights, with the heavyweights, the 220s and the 285s. What dramatics.
Eric Chaconas will head off to Bucknell as a 2-time champ. What a move.
Well, he gets in there. He gets that cradle locked up. And Chaconas, he is tough in there. He was not giving that cradle up. And right here, Lagrippo was in trouble. As soon as he came up top, and he gets the big pin. Look at that excitement.
The Chaconas Cradle has done it again at Boardwalk Hall. Eric Chaconas bringing the title back to Ramsey, New Jersey. Unbelievable. So we saw a pin at heavy. We saw a pin at 220. Eric Kessian is bringing the title to Howell. He's with Amanda.
Eric, so far we've seen some of these bouts that have needed extra time. You didn't need any extra time to get that state title. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels amazing. There's no other feeling like it, to finally get all the hard work paid off and to finally get that title. It's an unbelievable feeling.
We always say that wrestling is a journey. Tell me a little bit about the journey that you have been on that has gotten you here.
Well, throughout my whole career, we've had a plan, me and the coaches. Sophomore year was to finally get to states, junior year to place, senior year to win. Now that we put in all the hard work in the off season and in the room, now that we finally got that state title, it's just great.
Now, next for you, you're going to be wrestling at West Point. How do you feel now knowing that you're going to such a great place and you have a New Jersey state title under your belt?
Oh, I can't wait. Now it's like the credentials under it for when I get in there. I'm going to feel a lot better with the confidence and stuff when I'm wrestling the college guys. It's just going to make me a better wrestler and everything.
Congratulations and best of luck at West Point.
Thank you.
It's just great stuff there with Kessian, because you know how it goes in the wrestling circuits. The Howell wrestling community was thinking, Eric has a chance, but he's going to have to earn it. He's going to have to prove it. Boy, did Kessian prove it.
He really did. What an unbelievable finish to a senior year for Kessian. Gets that big pin, and the way he did it, AC already went for that Merkle, like I had mentioned, and Howell just caught that leg and caught him on his back, and Just an amazing final so far. A lot of excitement, a lot of big moves. You could see by the talent level, you could see why these guys are in the finals right now, Jimmy.
What you love about it, too, as a wrestling guy as you are, sometimes you get into the heavies, and it's a little lethargic, you know what I mean? But my gosh, the athleticism of these guys, 285 pounds, 220 pounds, they were moving and grooving out there.
They really were. That's a great way to put it. Moving and grooving. And usually you're right. You have matches that are a little bit flat. You know, you got them pushing back. They got collar ties. You know, it's little snap downs, go behinds, but not a lot of. These two matches were exciting. They brought the roof off this place, especially with that, what did you call it? Chaconis what?
The Chaconis Cradle,
The
man.
Chaconis Cradle.
It's a legendary Chaconis move.
I love it.
Well, a year ago when Eric Chaconis won it, his brother Zach had to give him the family belt. I mean, think about that. Zach wins it in 2015. They make a belt. Eric wins it in 2016. He's got to give him the belt. Eric's going to keep the belt now. And the great story for the Chaconis boys is the fact that Zach Chaconis was a runner-up as a sophomore, lost by a point. As a junior, he lost in 2 overtimes, and Zach Chaconis won it as a senior. Eric now wins it as a junior and a senior. So basically, you're talking about, for the Chaconis family, 5 straight years they've had one of their boys in the finals.
Could you imagine them fighting over a pork chop at home at the dinner table? Oh, my God. It must be unbelievable.
Nick said that, not me, boys.
Those guys are big boys, and they're tough. And let me tell you, what a great family and they did amazing things in the wrestling community here in New Jersey, and should be very proud of their boys.
No question, no question. And it's about the journey. And now the journey goes, we go from the Big Cats to the Fly Boys, 106 pounds. And this is Sammy Alvarez for the Green Knights of SJR, St. Joseph Regional. It's about 6 miles away from Don Bosco Prep, where Eric Chaconis resides. He's taking on Anthony Clark of Del Barton. 2 schools very familiar with one another. And Sammy Alvarez, the super sophomore, beat a nationally ranked top seed in Dante Menino in overtime in the semis. And for Anthony Clark, how about this guy? A freshman, 9th grader. And what do they call him? A stud freshman. 2 great wrestling programs. Del Barton coached by Brian Stahl. And St. Joe's, what a boost they got to their program when one of their immortals, the great Damian Logan, took over the reins as the head coach of St. Joe's. Logan, a 3-time New Jersey State champ, 4-time finalist. So here we go at 106.
Let me tell you, yesterday when I was I did the semifinals. I did Alvarez's semifinal match, and he is so tough to score. And if you don't hit things clean on him, you're not going to get him. He goes into a funk position. He's very, very good in those funk positions where if somebody gets in on his leg, he'll come underneath, he'll grab a leg. He ends up coming out on top off of other people's moves. So he's a good counter wrestler, and he's got a lot of talent, but he's up against a very, very talented Anthony Clark today.
So both these guys seeking their first title. Sammy Alvarez, the sophomore, never placed before. Now he's in the finals. Only 1 loss on the year for Alvarez. He lost at the Escape the Pack to the #1 contender in America.
Nice single leg, straight single. Let's see if he can shelve that. Get the goes into a, oh, and he gets him over on his back. Beautiful roll through tilt position. Let's see if Alvarez got caught right there, but let me tell you something. Alvarez could actually come through and get a takedown off of this. Clark picks up 2 and 2. 2 back points. Let's see right now. Let's see if he can finish this.
Clark jumping out to a 4-point lead here in the first period.
10 seconds. Alvarez has to move quickly. Unbelievable action here.
And Clark, Anthony Clark, the freshman, with a 4-0 lead, and Sammy Alvarez in a little bit of disbelief here. That first period did not go as planned.
That was some unbelievable action right there. I mean, unbelievable. Goes into that roll-through tilt on off of Alvarez's shot. Alvarez was in on his shot, and Anthony Clark hits a beautiful roll-through on that.
So when you're the favorite in a match like this and you get down 4-0 after one period, what's most important?
Most important is to keep your composure. Get one. Don't look for big stuff. Get 1 point at a time. One and chip away, and before you know it, you can get back in it. But if you look for everything big now, Alvarez almost has a reversal here. And if he could get his leg free, Anthony Clark actually keeps his composure, gets in. He's got a nice little switch position for Alvarez. If he can get that leg hooked and get that other leg in, he's got a reversal on Clark.
St. Joe's looking for the deuce, and they'll get it here. So Sammy Alvarez is on the board now, the super sophomore for St. Joe's Montvale. Final minute now, the second period. Alvarez goes back to work.
Alvarez right now, he's got that leg in. He's trying for that power half, trying to pick up another 2. If he can cut the deficit, he already cut the deficit, but if he can get 2 here and tie it up going into the third period, he's in good shape. You know, it doesn't surprise me that Alvarez has, there's a great shot of Damian Logan, because I was just going to mention that. It doesn't surprise me that he has that composure, and he's very, very technically sound, because his coach, I know his coach, and his coach is phenomenal. He was a great wrestler, but he's a great coach, and he teaches his guys not to panic and go through this. Kenny, he has that crab. Almost had that crab right half into a tilt for Alvarez. Always looking for points. Clark gets out of that. Clark needs to get an escape here with about 15 seconds left. Let's see if he can score some points.
Final 10 seconds now of the second period. Sammy Alvarez in the green trails by 2 to the freshman from Del Barton, Anthony Clark. Second period will come to an end. 2 young guns, as you see Coach Brian Stahl to the right.
You talk about coaches. That's another really talented coaching staff there. Great guys. They do an incredible job with their program year in and year out. Actually, Patrick Glory, who's coming up at 120, that's their coach as well, his coach as well, and they do a phenomenal job.
Sense of urgency now for Sammy Alvarez. We're underway in the third and final period of this 106 New Jersey State Final.
Calls that quick stalemate, which is a good call, because if you're not scoring points, it's really the Alvarez's advantage right there to get that stalemate call.
90 seconds left now in this final. Sammy Alvarez trying to dig out of the early hole. He saw Anthony Clark put him in. Clark jumped out 4-0 very quickly in this match. And now the freshman is 1 minute away from winning a state title.
Right now it's decision. It could come down to decision time right here for Damian Logan and Alvarez. With about 50 seconds left, do you cut him and try to come up with a move to Clark's back? Because all Clark has to do is stay in good position and not get turned, and he wins the state title.
.39 seconds left. You look into the eyes of Anthony Clark, the freshman from Del Barton. Damian Logan looks over from the St. Joe's corner at Sammy Alvarez, his super sophomore. He's up against it now. Final 20 seconds now. Alvarez looking for anything here.
Extremely frustrating.
Final seconds. Anthony Clark looking to hold on, and he will. The Green Wave freshman is a New Jersey State champ.
That match came down to one move, and that was the roll-through tilt off of Alvarez's shot. And you know what? No shame. What an incredible season Samuel Alvarez has had. Eddie Alvarez, as they like to call him. Unbelievable season, but great job. Anthony Clark gets a big win. And guess what? He's on pace to possibly be a four-timer. Hasn't been many of those, Jimmy.
Could be the first of many bouts between those two guys. At 195, Kyle Leitner. Boy, did he deliver in a big way for Delaware Valley. He's with Amanda.
Well, Kyle, we talked about it earlier, right before you were about to wrestle. We said 10 years ago you were introduced to your coach as the kid who will eventually win states. You're kind of, you fulfilled that prophecy. How do you feel?
I feel great being first grade and getting pulled to a guy I didn't know, being 98 pounds, real small and fat, and being, this is our next state champ. I'm sitting there bewildered, not thinking, just thinking, no, I'm not. I'm just some kid that's out of the backwoods of Kingwood. And it's just and then thinking about that all my life and wearing on me when I finally got down here this year, I'm like, you know what, I could be that kid. I could be that kid that he introduced to a legend and said, this is our next state champ. This is the next kid that's going to be on our wall.
When was that moment that you actually said, yes, I can be that state champ?
When I got down here, I always knew I could be a top 3 guy down here. But when I got down here and I realized who I was and what I've done, I told myself, it's just my tournament to lose. Everybody's predicting against me, but it's honestly my tournament to lose because I know what I'm capable of.
You get the chance next year you'll be coming back. You can defend your title. What's next for you? Right away, what's next?
I got to get my wisdom teeth removed, so I'm going to be out 2 weeks, and then I'll be getting right back on the mat to wrestle and get better.
Well, Kyle, make sure you have some ice cream before you head back to the mat. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What a moment. The ultimate prize, the New Jersey State Champions. It's News 12 Varsity in a day in Atlantic City, Boardwalk Hall. The state finals continue after this.
Please take 1/4 turn to your left. And 1 more 1/4 turn to your left, please. And then final 1/4 turn to your left. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And now, your 113-pound championship match. Our first wrestler is the #1 seed in a junior. Season record of 41-1 and a career record of 121-7.
The eyes of New Jersey wrestling on Boardwalk Hall. News 12 Varsity's continued coverage of the 2017 NJSIAA Wrestling Championships. Jimmy Cavallo, the Syracuse All-American, Nick Garone, our entire News 12 Varsity gang. And Nick, you always get a little bit of everything when you get to the Jersey State Championships. You never know who really the favorite is when you get to a state championship. You would have thought a moment ago it was Sammy Alvarez. The freshman Anthony Clark punched through. Now we go to 113 pounds. Two outstanding wrestlers entering the fray with this one, too.
Well, you know, you really don't. You can't. That's why we wrestle the matches, Jimmy. That's why we wrestle the matches. Because you can't say on paper, yeah, you can say accolades, you could use records, but at the end of the day, you have to get out there and you have to execute. You have to execute during the matches. And let me tell you something. Clark did a fantastic job winning that match.
So here we go, 113. In the blue and white is Anthony Menino. Twin brother of Dante, the top seed out of Gateway High School, seeking his first title, just a junior. Taking on another freshman. This is Robert Howard for Bergen Catholic in the white trimmed with maroon. And Robert Howard wrestling for Coach Dave Bell. What a freshman season this stud has had. Howard in the quarters beat the defending 106-pound state champ Joe Manchio of Seneca High. So the BC freshman comes in with a world of confidence. The top seed, though, the junior, Menino. State medalist a year ago was Antonio. This junior, great wrestling family, very decorated, outstanding technical wrestler. But he's got a kid here in Howard who has just burst upon the scene at Bergen Catholic as a freshman. 39 wins on the year. District and region champ. He gets after it, does this ninth grader.
Right now, Menino has that little dump position there. He's got his elbow, tried to kind of half dump him a couple of times, couldn't get it on Howard. Howard's been blocking in the thigh, doing a great job on that defense right there, that dump. Hey, let me ask you this. Antonio and Dante Menino, do you think they're Irish? Nice Italian boys, Dante and Antonio.
Twin brothers, too. Both great seasons. Antonio makes it into the finals. And the thing about it is, when you're a junior like Menino and you think, oh, it's a freshman now. Remember, this is New Jersey. You can only wrestle 4 years. So a freshman, you're thinking, but you just never know how good these freshmen are. And Dave Bell, as you see right here, the outstanding head coach of the juggernaut from Bergen County, Bergen Catholic Wrestling. He had so many great things to say about Howard. Fearless, goes hard every day. He comes into the wrestling room and lets it fly.
You know, you have, he's tried that little side headlock, but you know what, you're right. Both of these guys, you know, they do a tremendous job, and they work out nice little tilt attempt with that cross wrist tilt. But they do a great job, and they wrestle all year. Both of these wrestlers are all-in wrestlers. And it doesn't surprise me sometimes. You can never look at the age of a wrestler, especially in a state final. You know, sometimes it's just human nature, Jimmy, in a dual meet to say, hey, I'm wrestling a ninth grader, I'm wrestling a younger guy. But Menino knows that right now he's wrestling an incredible wrestler in Robert Howard, because he wouldn't be in this position if he wasn't.
Menino, two-time district champ, two-time Region 8 champ. The top seed here at 113 pounds out of Gateway Woodbury High.
Putting both those legs in, Menino. Got to get those hips flat. They're yelling, stalling on top, but he's got to get those legs. He had to break them down. Good call on that stalemate. But you know what? Menino has to make it look better. Has to come in there with maybe a power half. You know, maybe an attempt at getting that leg and maybe cracking that hip to get a tilt off of that. He has to do a better job rather than just riding on top with that. And Howard, nice hip heists out of there and gets his point right away as soon as the whistle blows.
So Robert Howard breaks through first here. Just under 1 minute to go in the second period.
Oh, he's got that was a good attempt, but nothing yet. Nothing yet.
Look at the toughness of Howard to fight it off.
It's amazing. Both of these guys are just real tough. Howard doesn't look like a freshman, that's for sure. Just his body makeup, you know, his maturity in his body and his athleticism.
Howard, just a quick switch, aggressive athlete. Kind of guy Bergen Catholic likes across the board for their athletic programs. No fear of failure for this freshman.
Five seconds left.
So we will go to the third period here at 113 pounds, and the top seed yet to get on the board. Robert Howard of Bergen Catholic leads by just 1 point. Antonio Menino starting on the bottom, the top seed, trying to win his first title. He'll get that point now and tie this match at 1. So here we go. 2 minutes for it all at 113. Coach Dave Bell looks in.
Just about 90 seconds left to go in this match, and I'll tell you right now, these guys are evenly matched. I mean, it's just a lot of people say, oh, there's not a lot of action, there's no takedowns, but this is strategy. If you love the sport of wrestling, and you have to appreciate the chess match that's going on right now. These guys are actually trying to set each other up, going one way. Right now, Howard tries that little cross knee pick to get him on his hip.
Well, Robert Howard came as no surprise that he's in the finals because he beat a defending champ in the quarterfinals. So he got through the semis to get here to the finals. Final 40 seconds now, tied at 1. Under 30 seconds left now. Robbie Howard. Antonio Menino. Final 20 seconds here. The one move that can give you the title. Where is it?
Oh, nice little attempt at a shrug by Howard.
Final seconds
Little
now
go
of the
behind.
third period.
Oh, little shrug, tries to shrug his head by.
And we will go to OT. 1 minute on the board in this first overtime. Howard takes a shot at a single.
In on that single tight. Can he finish if he takes his time? He needs to take his time. He needs to hook that leg and get that head out. If he could hook this leg, which he's attempting to do, and pop that head out, he's going to get 2 points right now.
Menino.
He gets that head out.
Desperately fighting his way through it is Antonio Menino. No points surrendered yet.
Right now, Menino's staying tight. But let me tell you something. That's 2 points. That's 2 points. Oh, he's not going to call it. He comes back in, Menino.
The crowd calling for 2. It doesn't come.
Unbelievable that referee did not call when he had that ankle hook and his head popped out. He was on his hip. No points. No points. What an incredible defense on Menino. I mean,
Dave
for him
Bell
to get
is
out of
not
that.
happy.
You know what? I have to tell you, that when he had his ankle hooked and he popped his head out, 9 out of 10 guys, and this is nothing taken away, these guys are out doing the best they can. That could have been called by other referees, could have been called too.
So Menino survives. Great job by Antonio Menino to fight it off just enough to earn that call in the eyes of that referee. So here's a single now on the escape by Howard. Final seconds now of this second OT. Menino staying put. So Gateway High.
What a match, Jimmy. Another big match right now.
Sees Menino on the bottom, quickly trying to escape and tie it up. Howard. Look at this, Menino.
A lock hands and a reversal. That's 3 point. That's unbelievable right there. Let me tell you, that was an incredible reversal, but he got a locked hands, Howard.
Antonio Menino has flipped the script here. And now leads by 1.
A minute ago I said, hey, there could have been a takedown, this and everything. Referees to get around the edge there and call and catch that. To catch that locked hands was pretty impressive.
Menino will cut him loose. And with a 2-point lead, he'll pick up the 1.
And he
That
wins.
is it.
He wins it.
Antonio Menino is a New Jersey state champ at 113 pounds. He wins it late. He fights off the charge of the freshman. Howard gets a call to go his way, and Antonio is a New Jersey champion for Gateway High.
Right there, look at the brothers celebrating, the twin brothers in the corner. Unbelievable feeling. It's like they won a state championship.
Dante and Antonio.
Wow, pretty exciting finish to that 113-pound match.
The top seed was up against it, taking on the freshman Robert Howard. Now watch Menino here,
Right
the
here,
decisive move.
He comes around, goes into a funk position, comes out, gets head and chest high, gets some height, tries to wrap around, and right at the end here, he gets that leg and he hooks, and then he puts him in danger. The big thing was he turned towards his head. He didn't turn towards his legs, and that's why Menino got those 2 points. As he turned towards his head, he had to let go on. Howard had to let go of the grip. And just what a finish. What a finish by Menino.
Now look at the medal stand, and that's a big Jaconis smile on top. Eric Jaconis defends his New Jersey heavyweight championship. The runner-up to his left, Alex Lagrippo. But Big E on top of New Jersey once again as the heavyweight champ of the Garden State. Jaconis will head off to Bucknell and continue his wrestling career.
In second place, from Woodbridge, Alexander Lagrippo.
Steve Timko handing out a few medals. Jaconis with the Rare Breed t-shirt. And why not?
From Don Bosco, Eric Jaconis.
to our continued coverage here of the 2017 New Jersey Wrestling Finals. And, you know, it's just amazing how many chapters each one of these matches has, because there was a time there it looked like Robert Howard was in control at 113, but Antonio Menino, in the end, maybe a little bit of that veteran quality that he has, he found a way.
You know, every match has been, in their own right, has been exciting. But Menino, just to get that, you know, he's a junior. It was great to see him jump at his brother in his father's arms after that. Just an unbelievably explosive matchup by both wrestlers. Both had their opportunities, but Menino at the last second pulled it out and just state championship for Menino.
And give credit to his brother Dante. He was upset, you know, in the eyes of a lot of people along the way. They had hoped maybe to get them both into the finals, but being the great twin brother that he is, Dante Menino was in the corner waiting for Antonio to come for that celebratory hug.
That's great to see. You love to see that type of stuff, and I can tell you this right now, it has been a fantastic, fantastic New Jersey State Championship.
Well, the one thing you always get in the state wrestling championships, no matter what state, is storylines. There are stories of redemption. There are stories of trials and tribulations. You could have a story of continued greatness. You know, but when you get to this 120 pounds, this is Joe Aragona out of Pope John. He's a sophomore, state medalist a year ago. Great run to the final for Joe Aragona. But when I talk about stories, here's a story. Pat Glory, the junior out of Del Barton. We saw Eric Jaconis defend his title. Well, Pat Glory came here as a freshman. He lost in the final. He came here as a sophomore. He lost in the final. An epic bout against Sebastian Rivera of Christian Brothers Academy, who's now at Northwestern. Well, in his junior year, Pat Glory, he's not only the #1 seed, Nick, but what he has done to get here. A pin, a major decision, a tech fall. Pat Glory has been a man on a mission.
He's been nothing less than spectacular in his run to the state championship final. To tech fall somebody in the semifinals of states is an amazing feat. Like you said, he's been dominant all through there, but more importantly, he's one of 3 undefeated wrestlers in the finals. He's looking for that state championship, and you know, being a second-place finisher twice gives you that hunger. You want to get on the top of that stand all season. Last year, the last 2 years, he had 365 days to think about this moment right here.
And what's amazing about it, and it's just how sports works, is even though Pat Glory is 45-0, none of it means anything to him if he doesn't win here today. In his own eyes, you know, in the Pat Glory wrestling soul, if he doesn't win here today, it will be another bitter disappointment and really devalue an unbelievable 45-0 season.
Which is crazy if you think about it.
Right.
Because any one of these kids that is in the stands right now, that didn't place in this tournament, if you told them, listen, I want you to sign a contract right now, and you're going to be a 3-time state runner-up, I guarantee they would sign that piece of paper. But you're right. Once you're in that situation, once you've tasted that you know, getting to the finals, the next step is to win it. And Pat Glory, you know, I've heard him in the past say, this would be a disappointment if I can't win this. But he's up against a real tough Joseph Aragona. Joseph Aragona has had a great season in his own right, 41-2, an unbelievable semifinal win. So this is a very solid kid. But you know, you have Pat Glory, who's ranked #1 in the country at this weight.
Pat Glory, a 3-time District 9 champ, 3-time Region 3 champ. Joe Aragona won a district title in 2016. He's also a 2-time Region 3 champ. Glory will break through here and pick up a deuce and leads it 2-0 with about 20 seconds left here in period #1. So a good start for Pat Glory, the top seed.
Can Del Barton come away with 2 state championships today?
Final seconds now. Pat Glory will see the clock disappear, and he'll lead 2-0 after 1 period. Say what you want about national rankings. It's a very inexact science in many aspects, but Pat Glory ranked #1 in the USA in his weight class.
You know, there's a lot of wrestlers in New Jersey that are ranked in the nation because New Jersey is traditionally one of a nice little mat return there by Aragona, but traditionally New Jersey is one of those states that is looked upon in the country as one of the better states in wrestling. They're always in the top guys. They always have nationally ranked wrestlers, but Pat Glory's ranked #1. You know, so yeah, even if let's just say some of these polls are, you know, some of these rankings, I should say, are off a little bit. You know, what is he, 1, 2, 3 in the country? That's pretty impressive, you know, for Pat Glory.
Glory with the 3-0 lead picks up an escape to start this period. So in control now of the sophomore Joe Aragona. Aragona just a 10th grader. But a great run here to the final for Aragona after medaling a year ago.
This is a great experience. Being a sophomore, you know, Joseph Aragona really sets himself up for the next 2 years, no matter what happens tonight. And it's a great experience to wrestle, to be on the mat with a wrestler like Pat Glory is tremendous experience for a wrestler like Joseph Aragona. Just, you know, some people have to fly all over the country to wrestle the #1 guy. Well, guess what? Joseph Aragona's got a shot at him tonight in New Jersey in the state finals.
Final 20 seconds now. 120-pound New Jersey State Final. Pat Glory looking for the ever so rare undefeated season. Aragona trying to hold his ground.
Oh, that's nice. He fought that off real nice. I mean, Aragona did a tremendous job. You know, not many people can hold that off, that attack by Pat Glory. Pat Glory gets in on that leg. He's going to finish on 9 out of 10 guys. And, you know, and Joseph Aragona did a fantastic job defending that.
Now Pat Glory looks up, Nick. He's got 2 minutes left. He's got a 3-point lead here in the state finals. What's in his mind now? Is there some strategy here, or does he just stay aggressive?
Well, I think the reason why Pat Glory is so successful is I don't think he really looks at the scores and thinks about holding on. I think in his mindset is I have to continually score points. I can't let go and not be on the attack, because if you do and you start protecting leads, that's when bad things happen. And I think Pat Glory is just enough of a seasoned, experienced wrestler that he knows he can't just hang on right here. He's got to keep scoring, keep aggressive, that aggressive technique that he has and that style that he has as he throws in a leg on Aragona.
So as Coach Stahl looks in from the Del Barton corner, his dynamic junior Pat Glory has a 3-point lead here with 1:14 left. Coach Stahl can barely watch now. He wants it so much for Pat Glory.
Gets that point. Here you go, 3-1.
Aragona now on the board.
Aragona, he's to take that away from tying it up with Pat Glory. He's whatever happens, he's made a great account for himself being here, and he deserves to be here. Aragona's wrestling great.
Yeah, wrestling for Coach Will Livingston, Pope John High School. He is giving Pat Glory everything he can handle here in the finals. Glory has been as dominant as you can be in this tournament. Pin, major decision, tech fall. He has sliced through the competition. But now, with 25 seconds left in the final, he leads by 2, trying to hang on for that elusive state title.
Pat Glory can taste it. 15 seconds left. He knows what's in front of him, and right now Aragona has to at least try something. What's the difference between losing 3-1 or 5-1? He's got to go after him. 4 seconds, 3
as a
seconds,
freshman,
2,
Pat
1.
Lost in the final as a sophomore. He lost in the final as a junior. This time the glory goes to Pat. Pat Glory is a New Jersey state champion. Del Barton has another one. The perfect season is complete for Glory. What a story. Very businesslike in victory for Pat Glory.
Class act. You know, just another day at the office for Pat Glory, winning matches. And finishes off an undefeated state championship season. Amazing season for Pat Glory. And he's got that monkey off his back.
What a focus for Glory. He lost a tough match last year, and now the Glory family knows Pat has delivered in his final match of his junior season. So Del Barton with a state championship. I don't know if the Glories have a belt. I know the Chaconis family has a belt, and it's staying with Big E. Eric Chaconis, heavyweight champ again. He's with Amanda.
Well, Eric, your senior year, you get the chance to defend your title. You do so, you get the pin. Is there a better way for you to go out?
No, I mean, this way was such an emotional way. Probably, I couldn't even imagine of a pin in the finals as my last high school wrestling match. So it's something special, and it's going to be something I never forget.
You talk about the emotion. Was this sort of a bittersweet moment for you?
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for the future and what the future has in hold for me. So, I mean, it's my last high school match, but what a way to end it.
Let's talk about the future and the future of this belt. The belt started in 2015 with your older brother. You've held on to this belt the last 2 years as the champ. What happens to the belt now?
Now I'm going to give it to my little brother, Luke, and he's only a freshman, so we'll see if he could keep it in the family for a little bit longer.
Eric, congratulations. Go hand off that belt.
Thank you.
Oh, you gotta love it. It's even inscribed Chaconis. Nick, did you have a belt?
I never had a belt. I never had a belt.
Do you feel bad now that you never
Yeah,
had a
I
belt?
kind of saw that. I was like, oh my goodness, I wish I had a belt. And it had his name engraved in it. It was beautiful.
Anthony Clark, Del Barton. So Del Barton now. Pat Glory and Anthony Clark both win the title. And Clark standing on top of that podium as a state champion as a freshman. That's how you want to start your wrestling career in New Jersey. One in the books. But now, of course, the pressure, because for Anthony Clark, if he's to make it back here again, they will always reflect upon his freshman season when he won it all.
There's not too many four-timers in this state, and at the very least, he has set himself up to possibly do that. But it's not easy to win year after year in this state. It's just an amazing wrestling pool of talent, and they're deep. That's what makes New Jersey such a great wrestling state, because they're deep. There's some states that have legitimate state champs that are really tough and really talented. But Jersey literally has, you look at the stand, and any one of those guys could win it on any given day.
It's what makes it the event that this is. There are not many foregone conclusions when you get to the finals. So now we go to 126 pounds. Nick Ramo of Hanover Park. Ramo, a year ago, the state runner-up as a freshman.
He's a three-time district
He lost to Brandon Cray of Steiner. Ramo has been awesome.
From Howell High School, Kyle Slendorn.
Taking on Kyle Slendorn, the 7 seed out of Howell High School, this junior. Hey, he earned his way here, beat the 2 seed Shane Metzler in the quarters out of West Morris. What a run to the finals for Slendorn.
Slendorn has had an amazing tournament, and I actually I commentated his semifinal match yesterday, and it was pretty obvious right after the first couple of minutes of that match why Slendorn is such a tough wrestler and why he deserves to be here. But let me tell you, Nick Ramo is a very special. Second in the state last year. He's very special. He has done a tremendous job at all the national tournaments and going around the country and putting the work in and putting the time in. So he's ready. He wants to get on top of that podium this year and get his first state title.
Ooh. So Ramo quickly on top of Slendorn, and he'll bank a couple points just 15 seconds into this match. He'll give him a single on the way out the door, so it's 2-1. Well, you mentioned that semifinal for Kyle Slendorn. He beat Anthony Duca of Paulsboro. Slendorn only has 1 loss on the year. It was to Anthony Duca of Paulsboro in the first match of the season, 20-9. And he avenges that loss in the state semifinals. That had to feel good for Kyle and the Rebel Nation of Howell.
Can Slendorn join his teammate in winning a state title here, and can Nick Ramo get his first state title here? Another little dramatic setup here for him as Nick Ramo gets another takedown. One of the things about Nick Ramo that I've noticed, because I've seen him wrestle quite a bit, he has that tenacity, that attack style wrestling. He's like a machine. He'll come after you, and he will go after you for 6 full minutes. So if you're not in shape and if you're not ready, he's going to wear you down and he's going to take it to you.
Scrappy, intense, energy. Nick Ramo, 2-time district champ, 2-time Region 3 champ, just a sophomore. Whatever happens in this match, it's been quite a run for the Rebels of Howell High School. They win their first ever Group 5 title, and earlier today, Eric Kessian won at 220 pounds. He is a New Jersey state champ. Can Kyle Slendorn find a little more magic here in the finals up against Nick Ramo? It's not going to be easy.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. I just saw that real quick, and I had to say, beautiful throw by. He caught him coming in and threw that arm by to get another 2 at the end of the period. And Nick Ramo with a commanding 6-2 lead here.
So Ramo maybe took a little look at the time, so the seconds ticking away. Why not go for something here?
Right here, Slendorn comes in, he gets that underhook and throws it right by over his shoulder and gets another 2.
To the second period we go. Just underway here in the second period of this 126-pound matchup.
You know, Nick has a brother, Luigi, that he works out with. Luigi has been doing an incredible job in his own right, and it's real good when you have a family, just like the Menino twins, guys that you could work out with, and the dad's real involved, and just a really good, solid wrestling family, the Ramos.
So Slendorn.
See if Slendorn can score a couple of points here. He needs to do something right now.
Hanging on, Ramo trying to escape. Slendorn will get another grab on him.
He is tough on top, Slendorn.
So they'll restart it with just under 1 minute left here in the second period. Oh, look at Ramo go to work. Beautifully done. He'll pick up another pair there. So it is 8-2 for Nick Ramo. Now Ramo clutching that left ankle. Moments after increasing his lead. Now leads by 5. He'll require some medical attention. They're working on that left ankle of Nick Ramo. We're only in the second period now.
Let's see if he can put weight on that foot. That's a bad injury to have in wrestling. Right here, comes in there, goes around the corner, and right here it's Slendorn doesn't really do too much, and you really can't see where that ankle kind of twisted, but you know, maybe it's just the angle you came down on it. He came down on it. I just didn't really see a big roll on that ankle, but either way, Ramo's back to action right now.
As a wrestler, do you have a sense of when you're taking on a wounded animal, so to speak?
No doubt about it. You know, and sometimes if your opponent sees that there's an injury, or you know you're kind of fading in the end of the periods and stuff, if that's a time to jump, that gets your adrenaline going. That's a time to step it up and go after that wrestler and try to get on top of him, especially Nick Ramo. Maybe his ankle is, you know, maybe it's a little sore, whatever the case may be, or maybe he kind of twinged it or tweaked it. But Slendorn's looking at it like, you know, now I got an opportunity here. So, yes, you do kind of smell blood.
2 periods in the books. Nick Ramo, 2 minutes away from his first title. Runner-up a year ago, nursing a fresh ankle injury on that left ankle, but he seems to have recovered now and is back in his groove. He leads by 5 here over Kyle Slendorn, and now he'll pile up some points again.
Same move once again. He's really doing an incredible job on Slendorn with that. As soon as he comes in there, gets that underhook, and he's hitting that nice little throw by on that underhook side. And just now, he almost had that little butcher tied up with that tricep, and he could have ran it over and got some backs off of it. And Slendorn fought off of that and did a tremendous job.
This is one of those matches where you're looking at Nick Ramo as the top seed, and you're saying to yourself, this is how a top seed looks in the state finals. He has been efficient, he has been aggressive, and he is well on his way now to his first state title after being a runner-up a year ago.
Yeah, and you know what? He made his adjustments. He made his improvements on the offseason, came back, he prepared himself, and he came back real strong this year, and he had a fantastic year. I mean, he's 39-1, and he's poised to win his first state title as a sophomore.
Final 30 seconds now for Nick Ramo. Kyle Slendorn looking for one last rush here. Slendorn, who knocked off the number 2 seed in the quarters, trying to take out the top seed here, Nick Ramo. But Ramo has been in control. Final 15 seconds now.
Nick Ramo, he can smell it. All he's got to do is stay in good position right now. Doesn't need to be tying up because Slendorn's looking for something big.
There it is. Slick Nick Ramo of Hanover Park, the super sophomore, is a New Jersey state champion. He caps off his 10th grade season with the ultimate hardware at Boardwalk Hall.
Love to see that. You know what? I always like to see the state champs run into their coaches' arms after a match, after a long season, because you know what? The coaches here in New Jersey do a tremendous job, Jimmy. They're in the trenches. They're sweating every day with those kids. They're going to the tournaments. They're putting the time in. So, you know, you just love to see that.
It's good stuff. And His family and friends, they know the time he's put in. There's the Ramo Nation right there. Those cats right there.
Ramo Nation. There it is.
Great stuff there for Ramo. A few moments ago, Anthony Clark of Del Barton. He was the underdog against Sammy Alvarez. Well, the underdog is the state champ at 106. Anthony Clark is with Amanda.
Anthony, you have been coming to Boardwalk Hall for so many years and watching the state championship. What is it like for you now to wrestle in this arena and to win?
It's amazing. Coming here all my about 10 years, watching them, I always want to be on that mat, winning. I always dreamt of my celebration all the time, that match on how it went in my favor. And now it finally happened. I just can't even explain it. It's amazing.
Now, to add to your story, you faced one of your closest friends, Sammy, in that final. What was that embrace like after the match?
We definitely had a few words on the podium. He said, "No matter what, I love you, man." And I love him to death. He's one of my best friends. And even if we wrestle the state finals, we wrestle in the NCAA finals, I'm going to love that kid no matter what. Everybody on the mat, friendship goes away, you wrestle your match.
You're only a freshman, so the future is really bright for you. Are you already thinking ahead to your sophomore, junior, and well down the road your senior year wrestling?
Definitely take it one step at a time. I'm going to take a little break, and then focus on freestyle. I had to do there, go to Fargo, and then when the season rolls around again, then I'll start thinking about that again.
Anthony, I know you and Sammy are going to Florida in a few weeks, so enjoy that time with your friend, and make sure you pack some warm clothes.
Nicely done, Amanda. With Anthony Clark, Tony Clark of Del Barton, the stud freshman, wins his first state title. And now we will move it along here to the 132-pound match of this 2017 NJSIAA Wrestling Championship. Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City. Nick Arone, the former Syracuse All-American, the former high school state champion himself. And I mean, you look around this building today, you see young and old people that love the sport of wrestling, and they know this is the ultimate setting for high school wrestling, a state final.
You know, when you're young and you go to your youth practices or you go to your junior or junior high wrestler, you look, and you're really a big wrestling fan, and you're a kid that enjoys it a lot. You go to those rooms, you see these wrestlers, these varsity wrestlers, and you look at these guys as if they're heroes to you. These little 7, 8-year-old kids in the kid program, look at a Nick Ramo and a Pat Glory, you know, like they're heroes to them. And it's great. They're all here on the edge of their seats. They're running over. You know, it just might as well be, you know, LeBron James to these kids. You know, guys witness them, they touch them and they feel them, and they're helping them every day in the room. It's just an amazing culture of having those younger kids coming up underneath. And they also, when they see people do it in their program, see people win state titles, they truly, Jimmy, they truly believe that they could someday do this, and they aspire to do this. And it's an amazing thing.
Well, Quinn Kinner of Kingsway High School out of South Jersey, seeking his first title, the junior, two-time state medalist. He will go up against Johnny Berger of New Milford High School. And if you think you haven't heard of a guy from New Milford coming to Boardwalk Hall, the last time New Milford High had a wrestler in the finals, it was Steve Ferretti. The year was 1966. 50 years since the Knights of New Milford have had a wrestler in the finals, but now John Berger, who upset the top seed in the semis, Gianni Giannone of Brick, and John Berger is in the finals here against Quinn Kinner, Kingsway High School. Berger in the white, Quinn in the black.
Quinn gets in on that deep shot, and John Berger comes up and gets that leg, hopefully to cause a stalemate right now, and does his job. Does not get scored on. Didn't score himself, but got out of a very bad situation. Berger did a tremendous job right there.
Kinner, who came here a year ago and took third in the state tournament. No shame in that. As a freshman, he took 5th. 3-time district champ, 3-time Region 8 champ. Well, when you think about John Berger and his path here, well, Berger, unfortunately, the last couple of years was in the same bracket as Nick Soriano. That is the path of ultimate resistance.
You're not kidding. Unbelievable right there. Beautiful shot and nice takedown by Kinner.
So Kinner picks up 2 here and leads it 2-0.
Quinn Kinner, 123-6, and he's only a junior. Oh, we could get some backs here. Kinner's working on some backs. Can he get it? Rolling that wrist. Got the legs in. Trying to get some backs with just about 10 seconds left.
Final seconds now, period number 1. Quinn Kinner will see the first period come to an end and has a 2-0 lead over John Berger. John Berger, who had never even won a region title, now finds himself at Boardwalk Hall on Super Sunday in the finals.
Right now, Kinner has to stay tight, keep his elbows in. He's working himself out right now, trying to get Berger high. Berger does a real good job keeping his hips tight and not giving up that escape or reversal.
So 132 now. Kinner trying to get out. Berger will hold on. Quinn Kinner now to his feet. He'll go out of bounds and restart it. A lot of tension here in the building when you think only 2 minutes and 54 seconds left in this match. Berger trying to break through.
Berger's doing a fantastic job right here, even though he's not getting... Oh, just as I say that, Kinner explodes and gets a point. I was just about to say Berger's doing a good job, maybe not getting some points here, but at least he's really keeping Kinner from getting a point, scoring another point on him, and maybe possibly going into the third period down 2-0 rather than 3, and Kinner comes right out and explodes out of there. Good job by Kinner.
Lightning quickness by Kinner. And now up 3-0. Final 20 seconds of this 132-pound match. Final 10 seconds now.
Ready? Watch this. He's got it. Right now he's got a overhook, and he's trying to use an arm lever, and he gets out. Beautiful job by Kinner to sweep his hips out and get that point.
So here we go, third and final period, and Kinner now in position. John Berger just trying to muster something up here to get something going. He trails by 3. Berger, who was 7th as a sophomore 2 years ago. Kinner, the 2 seed, Kingsway High School. He's been a 2-time state medalist, which means he's in the top 8. Top 8 in college gets you an All-American status. In high school, just gets you a little hype. But now he's trying to cap it off with a state title. Referee Kurt Carthage will blow the whistle. Officials have been rock solid, a decorated bunch of guys overseeing these 2017 championships.
I have to tell you, these referees have done a tremendous job throughout the tournament, and they're some of the best in the country. Right now, Kinner's trying to get some back points. Nice job by Kinner to pick up another 2.
So Kinner now in position, leads 5-0, under 1 minute left. John Berger, who upset the top seed in the semis. Gianni Giannone of Brick, 3-2, a tight match. Made his way to the finals, but he finds himself up against Quinn Kinner, the junior out of Kingsway. Kinner, decorated wrestler, with one thing missing, a state title.
10 seconds.
So now the Quinn Nation can feel it. Couple of Let's Go Quins coming out of the stands. Quinn Kinner, medals as a freshman, medals as a sophomore. As a senior, the whole enchilada. Quinn Kinner is a state champion for New Jersey at 132 pounds. Kingsway rings the bell. He was efficient, he was strong, he was quick, and in the end, he was just too much for the competition. A wire-to-wire victory by Quinn Kinner. And he deserves all the hugs he gets. Gotta love it. A few moments ago, the top seed looked like the top seed at 113. The twins of Menino, Antonio, is a state champ. He's with Amanda.
Antonio, I know yesterday was a really emotional day for you and for your family. This whole weekend ends with you taking home a title. I know you were able to share that moment with your brother at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. He's my third coach in the corner. He's always been there for me. I thank God for him. I thank God for helping me get this far. I love my brother to death. He's always there for me, and I had to get it back from him. I'd love to go 2 for 2 in the finals, me and him, but I had to get something for us.
Did he say anything to you either before your match or especially after the match that really motivated you?
Yeah, he said, "I believe in you" over there as soon as I ran out. And then when I ran over there and hugged him, it was just a moment I always remember and always cherish. And my dad saying he loves me, my brother saying he loves me. And I always remember that moment. I can't even describe it right now. It's awesome.
Let's talk about what actually happened on the mat. That third overtime, I mean, you really flipped the script. What did you see and what did you do that led you to this championship?
I just had to keep moving off the bottom. I knew I was down 2-1. I thought I could ride him out in that 32nd and 4. But as he slipped out, So I just had to regroup from that. I had to stay cool, stay under calm and composure. I knew I couldn't screw up. I knew I couldn't just believe in myself, and that God's in control. I just had to keep moving off the bottom. I knew if I kept moving, I'd either get out, get a reversal. I got both. I got locking hands, and I got a reversal both, so that put me up. So that the last 6 seconds, I just had to hold on for dear life and just grind it out.
Antonio, congratulations. Go celebrate a little bit more with your brother.
Thank you.
Jimmy, back to you.
Ah, yes, you got to love it. Pulling through for the Meninos. Championship night for that family as we continue here from Boardwalk Hall. Final 4 matches of the night. We are coming down to the nitty-gritty for these 2017 New Jersey Wrestling State Finals. Boardwalk Hall, this historic building that's hosted everything from the Democratic National Convention to Springsteen to the Beatles to Mike Tyson. Just an amazing venue for these gladiators to conclude this 2016-2017 high school wrestling season. And now, Nick, will go to the 138-pound match. And when you think about tough guys, when you think about New Jersey tough guys, how about the story of Gerard Angelo of Bergen Catholic? Last year, okay, he was third at 120. As a freshman, the champ, he wins it at 106. So he comes into this year, his junior year, high expectations. In the quarters, he wins in overtime, but in that match, he fractures his jaw. His jaw has to be reset on the trainer's table before he can compete in the semis, which they did. He gets a 2-point win in the semis. He comes now to the finals, battle-tested, but as tough as they come.
Tough is an understatement. You dislocate your jaw and you have to put your jaw back in place, and then you come out. Let me tell you something. Everything is touching the head, setting the setups with collar ties and blocking and defense and people coming after you. You have a chance at every single second of the match to be in contact with your face or your head. That's why they're all bruised up and everything else. And Angelo, just to come back from that, to even wrestle is amazing, but to get to the state finals is truly impressive.
And he's one of these different stories. He won it as a freshman. He did not win it as a sophomore. So you know there's a sense of urgency for Gerard in his junior year here to get it back. Taking on the 3 seed, Jake Benner of Ocean Township High School out of Monmouth County. Jake Benner, the junior, did not medal as a sophomore, but has really had a nice year. 44-1. And in the semifinal round, he pinned his way here in the first round. A first-period pin.
It was amazing.
That's making a statement.
It was amazing. I was doing that match, Jimmy, and the kid is explosive. He can pin from any position on the mat, and it makes him dangerous. Only one loss, doesn't really know how to lose. You know, he's had a fantastic season. But Gerard Angelo, you know, he's been on top of the podium before. He knows what it is to be in this situation. So let's see how this thing pans out here.
Jake Benner wrestling for Ocean High. Last time Ocean High had a state title winner was 2008. It's been a while. The great Nick Mendito, 2-time New Jersey state champ. So now Jake trying to follow in the footsteps of the ultimate Slick Nick from Monmouth County. Up against Angelo. Gerard Angelo, just a great athlete on the mat.
Shows a lot of patience. This referee showed a lot of patience, and then he gives him the call once he secures that other ankle. Good job by the referee to kind of show some patience there, not immediately give the 2.
So Angelo breaks through and has a 2-0 lead here in this 138-pound final. Gerard Angelo came here as a freshman 2 years ago, 106 pounds, won it all. Last year, lost to the semis, still took third, and now back as a junior. So a little blood timeout now. A little blood on the mat. Ooh. just a face plant into the mat there.
And, you know, when you have
Angelo.
a dislocated jaw, you know,
Oh,
that
my
might
goodness.
jar it a little bit. So, you know, Angelo trying to go through that cross wrist roll through tilt, can't get it. Benner knew it was coming. Defended very, very well.
It's not often you get to the offseason and you're looking to give your face a rest.
Yeah, no, my goodness.
Only in wrestling,
Yeah,
right?
maybe an ankle, a shoulder, a knee, you know, you're banged up a little bit. But very rarely do you say, you know what, my jaw, I have to give my jaw a rest. Right here, he's going the easy way with that cross wrist tilt. And he gets two.
Super efficient Gerard Angelo. Well, now leads it 4-0. Doesn't always have to be a big electric move.
No, you know what? A lot of guys, can he get the one right now? Benner gets one right now before the end of the period. That was a big point. But no, sometimes those little cheap tilts there, you know, they put you back in it. Doesn't need to be a big throw or a headlock or just get those cheap tilts, those quickies.
And they're just working on the nose now, Gerard Angelo, as he continues to bleed. And this just adds to the drama for Angelo, because now you're wrestling, you have your nasal passages filled with blood and cotton.
I don't mean to
your
laugh, but
breathing
it's
isn't right.
it's
You're in the
unbelievable.
state finals. Wrestlers, what you are called upon as a wrestler is to fight through it at all times.
Well, that's what makes this sport so great. You know, you're a gladiator. This is the closest form to a modern day gladiator that we have, is the sport of wrestling. Is going out of there one-on-one. One guy, no team behind you, no teammates to help you and support you. It's you against them. And it's not an easy thing to do. And let me tell you, it's not about getting to the state finals. Anyone that puts their foot on that line, okay, I give a lot of respect for, because it's not an easy sport, and you have to really work hard to get good at it. And sometimes you could work hard all the time. You could be the hardest worker in the room. You could set good goals for yourself. You can do everything right and still not get to this point to be a state runner-up or a state champion. So you know what? It takes a lot of discipline, a lot of dedication, and I give a lot of credit to all these boys out there competing today.
Hey, in football, you go to the sidelines for a couple plays. In basketball, you sit on the bench for a minute and regroup. In baseball, you always have in between innings. In lacrosse, you can come off the field. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide in the sport of wrestling.
You're not kidding. That's the old adage, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Just me and you. One-on-one, and that's what I loved about the sport. I loved about the sport because my destiny was in my own hands. As Angelo gets a nice shot, gets another two, sucked him back in, was almost out of bounds, sucked him back in and got that 2 points. Great job by Angelo.
Just when Benner had cut the lead in half to 4-2, Angelo strikes again now and ups his lead to 4 points. Under 1 minute left now, second period.
Angelo looking for that cross wrist tilt again. Had some success with that in the second period, in the beginning of the second period. Nice mat return.
Final 15 seconds now, period number 2.
Be nice for Benner to get one here towards the end of the period. But
Angelo just hanging on here as he sees the seconds click away. And we'll go to the third and final period.
Bergen Catholic has had such a storied history, a lot of tradition there. You know, they got 3 guys in the finals here this year, you know, with Howard, Angelo, and Griffith, and you know, they continually produce. Their program is just continually produces top-notch wrestlers year after year after year. Do a tremendous job.
4 champions a year ago, and still to come.
Oh, this could be big. I told you Benner has it in him. He can score and he can be explosive from any position. This is big. A lot of time left.
Jake Benner in position. Look at this. Jake Benner trying to finish off. Angelo. Jake Benner out of nowhere. A full minute left. Angelo on his back, trying to get the turn.
Bloody nose, dislocated jaw. He's bridging, he's fighting for his life right now, Jimmy.
Leading by just 2, but Jake Benner.
No matter what happens here, he's still down 7-6 after he comes off of his back. So even if Benner holds him there,
Jake Benner looking for the call. Final 30 seconds.
25 seconds. He's got 3. He's giving up 3 back points now no matter what.
Jake Benner out of nowhere has seized control of this match at 138. Benner, the junior, looking for his first title, and he'll get the whistle, and he has
5.
the lead.
Let me set this up, Jimmy. Let me set this up. It's 7-6, 5 seconds left. Thank God for blood timeout. But he'll have 5 seconds when we get back from the blood timeout to get a point and tie it up. I mean, unbelievable.
Angelo was seemingly cruising along, up 6-2. Enter Jake Benner. It's what makes the sport great.
I told you at the beginning of the match, Benner can score and throw people to their back at any point in time, and he's very dangerous.
Ocean High School has not had a state champ since 2008. Nick Mendito. It looked like they would still have to wait, and then this happened.
Right here. Right there, laterals him, throws him right on his back. Benner explodes right off of that over-under. Unbelievable. 5 seconds left. Can Angelo muster up enough strength to get this escape?
Benner, 5 seconds to hold on. Angelo not gonna get there. Jake Benner, Jolton Jake Benner is a state champion for Ocean High. A spectacular run for the Roses for Benner, and he is your 138-pound New Jersey champion.
Unbelievable, Jimmy. Angelo had it in his hands, had it in his grasp, and Benner comes up with a big throw to take Angelo out and win his first state championship. Unbelievable.
Benner, who brought the crowd to their feet in the semis with a first period pin, he waited till the third in this one and gets it done. What a moment here in the big building. At 120 pounds, your champion comes by way of Del Barton, the Green Wave. Runner-up as a freshman, runner-up as a sophomore. As a junior, Pat Glory is the champ. He's with Amanda.
Well, Pat Glory, you finally get that title that has eluded you the last 2 years. Why was this year any different for you?
I mean, you know, I worked really hard. Did a lot of things right that I haven't done in the past. My weight, you know, training, lifting, all that stuff, you know. It really came together this year well. You know, I just felt really phenomenal coming into the season, and I was confident. My mentality was a lot better than it was the past 2 years. I was really confident throughout the year, and you know, I just came here to dominate. You know, that's what I tried to do. In the finals, you know, it was a little closer than I wanted it to be, but you know, in the end, I got the win. It was definitely great to break through the barrier.
And you had the chance to wrestle against JoJo, someone that you've known for the longest time ever. Does that make this win just a little bit sweeter for you that you got to wrestle against a friend?
Yeah, I mean, made it sweeter. But then again, you know, I gave him a lot of props for you know, coming out there and competing. You know, a lot of kids could have came out here and you know, just, you know, got taken in by the moment and, you know, just laid down. He came out there, he fought hard. And, you know, it just makes it that much better, you know, to see an opponent who I've known my whole life, to go out there and compete with him, you know, it was just, you know, surreal, really surreal.
Pat, you finally get the monkey off your back. You win back. You win a state title. You have your senior year ahead. Do you feel that the pressure is off of you now?
You know, a lot of weight's off my shoulders. You know, now I feel like I can just go out there and just, you know, do my own thing, you know, without having any pressure on me. You know, getting a state title. I've actually never won a state title, even in middle school. You know, so this is the first one. I'm taking second in 5 state finals, and this is my first state championship ever. So, you know, it's definitely great, obviously, to get the monkey off my back. It's going to let me, you know, compete at a very, very high level in the next year.
Pat, thanks so much. Congratulations. Jimmy, back to you.
You feel great for Pat Glory. We continue here from Boardwalk Hall. 145 is next.
And now, your 100. First wrestler is the #1 seed, a senior, who comes in this season with an unbeaten record this season of 45-0 and a career record of 134-27. He's a 2-time district champion and 2-time district runner-up. He placed fourth in the regions 2015, third in 2016,
And back we are here on News 12 Varsity for these 2017 New Jersey Wrestling Championships. The place still buzzing from Jake Benner at 138. But now we go to 145 in Lenape Valley's Nick Palumbo. Third last year, trying to do something that's never happened before for Lenape Valley. Get their first ever state champ. Taking on Ricky Cabanillas out of DePaul, the Spartans, the sophomore, who went from backup a year ago to now Nick Garone in the state finals. That is a climb.
No doubt about it. Cabanillas and Palumbo, you know, I mean, listen, Cabanillas 37-9 record. You know, it really doesn't matter, does it? Those 9 losses don't really matter right now. He's in the state finals. I mean, nobody's going to worry about those 9 matches if he wins a state title here. But Nick Palumbo, he's an undefeated wrestler. He'll, like you had mentioned, Lenape Valley has never had a state champ. This is history making. He's only a sophomore. He could be a 3-timer, but just to get to this point is just amazing. Not only for Nick Palumbo and his family, which is an amazing thing, but it's history. It's something that will go in the record books, you know, forever at Lenape Valley.
No doubt about it. And for Ricky Cabanillas, who started his career at Bergen Catholic, and I had some dialogue with BC coach Dave Bell. He said, Ricky is a tough, talented kid. Now, taking on Nick Palumbo. Palumbo, 45-0, 48-0 after this weekend. Third last year. Trying to make history for Lenape Valley. But what you love about this bracket has gone chalk. Palumbo is the #1 seed, Cabanillas the #2 seed.
Both of them. Hey, listen, Cabanillas is a senior. He wants this. He wants to get on top of the podium because it's his last chance. I'm sorry, he's a sophomore. He's a sophomore. But right, 1 and 2 meeting in the finals is what they predicted, and this is what's happening.
So just underway now at 145, and here comes Cabanillas. Good rush there, but Palumbo will fight it off.
Right now, Palumbo in a nice position right here to finish this and get some points. I'm sorry, Cannabinius.
So here is Rick. Powerfully built at 145 pounds. He carries that 145 pretty well. Both of these guys. Final 25 seconds now of this first period. A little bit of the feeling out process between these two guys.
Palumbo going for that Russian tie-up. Cannabinius backs on out of that, circles out of that.
No scoring on the board yet. So Ricky now will start out on top. Palumbo trying to escape for that first one of the match. Cavanius would not let him out.
Can't just hold on top. It's got to work for something. Come out to the side. Can't ride parallel. He'll get hit for a warning. But here he goes. He's starting to work on some things right here. Cannabinius. Let's see if he can return him up. He cuts him.
Cuts him loose for that first point of the match. Final minute now of this second period. Not many opportunities so far in this matchup.
Trying to score off that Russian. Oh, if they had a little more room, that might have been a 2 for Palumbo.
Final 30 now of this second period.
Oh, he gave him the 2. Right on the edge.
On the edge, on his way out the door. Palumbo picks up a pair and now leads it 3-0 with only 2 seconds left in the period.
2 seconds left in the period. Palumbo comes up with a big takedown.
So here we go, third and final period. 2 minutes left. Plenty of time, only down 3 for Ricky Cavanius. From the Spartans of DePaul, Wayne, New Jersey. And he'll get a single now, he's on the board. Nick Palumbo. Once upon a time, you were also a Nick who made history at your school, winning your school's first ever state title. What will it mean to Palumbo to etch his name into that history?
It's an amazing feeling because nobody's done it before you, and nobody ever can do something for the first time again. So it was an amazing feeling for me, you know, even to go back to my high school now, Jimmy, to see that, you know, to see that in the showcase is phenomenal. you know, Patchogue Medford High School in Long Island, New York, Suffolk County, New York. You know, it was quite an incredible experience. You know, they pulled out the red carpet for me, and they went all out when I got home from, it was at Syracuse at the time, and it was an amazing feeling. And even to this day, you know, I go in the room and I'll maybe see some kids from the Patchogue team, and they come up to me, you know, and they'll say, hey, you were the first guy that won it, and it feels good.
No doubt. Pat Med. 1 minute left here.
1 minute away from history for Palumbo. 3-1 right now.
Time of the essence now for Ricky Cabanillas. What a run to the finals for the sophomore from DePaul. Well, the senior, the top seed, Nick Palumbo, trying to finish out his Lenape Valley career in style, undefeated and a state champ.
I give Cabanillas a lot of credit there. You know, he went for it. He went for it. I love to see that. If you don't try, you can't score. So, you know, he went for a big move. Oh, reverses. This gets a little interesting now, 5-3.
So Palumbo quickly went up 5-1. Cabanillas counters instantly to make it 5-3. 13 seconds left here. Make it 12. Nick Palumbo, final seconds. Lenape Valley has never had a state champion in New Jersey. That will come to an end. Palumbo is a state champ at 145 pounds. The top seed finishes as the top dog.
49-0, Jimmy. 49-0 state champ. First time in his school history. Great job, Nick Palumbo.
What a moment for Palumbo. He puts Lenape Valley Wrestling on the ultimate map. State champ. His parents love it. His coaches love it. Everybody's loving it. Lenape Valley wins the title, and of course, at 126 pounds, we saw another top seed win it. Nick Remo, the super sophomore out of Hanover Park, runner-up last year, state champ this year. He's with Amanda.
Well, Nick, last year you came up just short, losing to two-time defending champ Brandon Craig. What did you learn in that loss last year that propelled you to a state championship this year?
I mean, I left last year with a sick feeling in my stomach, and I knew I never wanted to feel that again, and I wanted to come in here and win a state title for myself.
You were so aggressive all weekend long, finally, finishing with this state title. What was your mentality for this weekend?
I wanted to come in here and I wanted to dominate every single one of my matches and leave no doubt and get a state title.
You're only a sophomore. You're still so young with one title under your belt. What's next for you?
I want to get 2 more state titles and tie my head coach, James LaValle.
Very good. Congratulations, Nick.
Wonderfully done. Great stories all around. And we continue to write great stories here on a night in Atlantic City. Super Sunday, Boardwalk Hall. The end of the rainbow for New Jersey wrestlers. You know, Nick, if it's about 5, 6 o'clock on a Sunday night in March and you're wrestling at Boardwalk Hall, it's for the whole kit and caboodle.
That's a great way to put it. All these kids, they've wrestled. It's a long season. Wrestling, it's just a grind. I mean, you start out in November. You got practices. You're losing weight most of the time to make a certain weight class. You got 12, 13, 14, 15-hour days in tournaments on Saturdays. It's not a 2-3 hour baseball or football game. These guys, these coaches, these families that are involved in this world of wrestling really, really put a lot of commitment into it. And then here's the payoff. We're in Boardwalk Hall in March at the state championship.
And it's amazing. There are a lot of wrestling moms and dads out there saying, hey, Garone, what are you talking about in November? Where I'm taking you to his wrestling club 12 months a year.
No doubt about it, Jimmy.
But, it's amazing. When you think about, a tournament like, the Beast of the East or some of these big prestigious wrestling
Super
tournaments.
32s.
There's nothing like being a champion of your own state.
No, that's why you strive for, obviously you want to win the Super 32s, you want to win out in Fargo, win the national championships, or in Virginia Beach for the NJSIAA national championships. But let's face it, in your state, this is as high as you can go in your state in high school wrestling. So this is the payoff, this is the big one. So if you could do this, and you know what's beautiful about winning a state title, no matter what happens after you win that, your name is in history for the rest of your life. Your kids, your grandkids, you could come back and say, hey, at this point in time, I was the best at what I did in my weight class.
Well, the beauty of the finals is that the storylines seep through with every match. And right now at 152, now we're getting into the, Pacquiao-Mayweather portion of this card tonight, because at 152 pounds, we are going to have two defending New Jersey State champs vying for one championship. This is Stefan Glasgow, okay? And Stefan Glasgow for the Bound Brook Crusaders. He's a senior. He's heading off to Rutgers. He's ranked number 3 in America. He is the defending champ at 152 pounds. As a junior, he won that title. As a sophomore, he was runner-up at 145. For him to defend his title at 152 pounds, he's going to have to go through another state champion in Shane Griffith, the junior from Bergen Catholic, one of the great wrestlers we have in the tri-state. Griffith, just a junior. He won as a freshman. He won as a sophomore. He's now going for that exclusive category of 3 titles in his first 3 years of New Jersey wrestling.
He's been in this position before, and he's been successful. But Stephen Glasgow is a very rare find, very rare talent. I watched him. When you talk about Stefan and the explosiveness that he has, it's really amazing. And what Griffith's style is completely different. Griffith's style, he wants to slow the match down. He wants to almost lull you to sleep, grind out some takedowns, get some points. You just nibble away and get into you. Stefan Glasgow is a guy that wants to score big, is explosive, and wants to put big numbers on the board. So it's a really contrast to styles right here, but both of them are very, very talented and very good at what they do. I'm excited. All day we've been speaking about this. State champ versus state champ.
Arguably the most anticipated match
and
of these state finals. Shane Griffith against Stefan Glasgow. Griffith in his Bergen Catholic yellow taking on Glasgow in his Bound Brook black. One thing, Glasgow beat Shane Griffith 3-2 at the Powerade tournament in Pennsylvania earlier this year. A 3-2 win. So Glasgow, knowing he's beaten him once already in the circuit, not in the high school season, at the Powerade tournament in Pennsylvania, a very slim 3-2 victory. It has to have a little bit of mental advantage for Stefan.
It does help him. It gives him an opportunity, but also Griffith, he might be able to make adjustments as well and say, okay, in that match, this is what I did wrong. I was able not just to watch him. Let me tell you, watching film and actually touching someone and wrestling with them is completely different. You could watch film and you could say, oh, this guy's got a great single leg, he's got a great double leg. But perfect example of this is Jordan Burroughs, okay, Olympic champion. You could watch all the film that you want on Jordan Burroughs. When you're out there, you're wrestling him, you can't simulate that quickness, that agility, that explosive way of wrestling. You can't simulate that. But when you actually get to touch somebody and wrestle against them, it's a benefit for you as well. But definitely Glasgow has that confidence, and in his mind, you know, I've already beat this guy once. I should be able to beat him again, and I know what he does as well.
Well, a year ago, we sat here and we saw the unthinkable. Nick Soriano win 4 New Jersey State Championships, go undefeated. Shane Griffith will not finish undefeated, but this will be the third step in trying to win 4 state titles in 4 years, the only 4 years you can wrestle in New Jersey. And if he wins it this year, he'll join another Crusader, Johnny Sebastian, who won 3 New Jersey State titles. Sebastian now at Northwestern, Soriano now at Penn State, Shane Griffith, just a junior at Bergen Catholic.
Oh, good old Johnny Sebastian. He was one heck of a wrestler, and now he's, like you said, he's at Northwestern, you know, in college and doing his thing. But Johnny Sebastian was such a tough wrestler, and you know what? Those are the types of things you want to do as we come to the end of the first period, 0-0. Not a big surprise. These guys are very, very talented and very, very close, you know, in ability.
Bergen Catholic football coach Nunzio Campanelli in the building today watching. Johnny Sebastian, very good fullback for Nunzio in his junior year, and there's the first point of the match. So Griffin will pick up a single here. Shane, very confident kid. He has predicted victory throughout this week. He's got the goods to back it up. He has already verbally committed to wrestle for the Cardinals of Stanford, going out west.
Not a bad school. You know, you talk about kids doing it on the mat athletically. This is a perfect example. Shane Griffith, that's somebody that nice little shrug by Glasgow, almost scores. But Shane Griffith does it in the class. He is the true meaning of a student athlete. He does it in the classroom. He does it on the mat, and he does a fantastic job. So, you know, for him to get accepted and to be going to a great institution like Stanford is an amazing thing, and that's great.
And I had to correct myself. I said Griffith predicted victory. I'm thinking of Kyle Cochran of Paramus, who we'll see in a moment, at 160 pounds. Griffith, very hungry yet humble kid. He has not gone on record saying he would win this title. That's Kyle Cochran. We'll get to that in a moment.
Right now, Stephen Glasgow's family was just about to run over here and say, what are you talking about? He ain't winning anything. But very, very good match here. 1-0 for Griffith. We've got about 40 seconds left in the second period.
Stefan Glasgow. This is a heavy hitter's ball right now. Both of these young men came here a year ago. Both of them left as state champions, trying to defend the honor of being called a New Jersey State champ again. Shane Griffith for Bergen Catholic, Stefan Glasgow for the Crusaders of Bergen Catholic. So in essence, it's Crusaders versus Crusaders. BC Crusaders, Bound Brook Crusaders.
Oh, here you go. Can he get it? Can he finish it here? Can he finish it on the edge? Nothing yet. I believe what they saw there, and I wasn't over in that area, but we have the best camera guys in the business. But I think what they saw was a knee went out, and that's out of bounds. Even though his toes were in, his knee went out of bounds.
Another one of those in the final seconds moments we've seen here today. It happens often right on the line.
No doubt about it, and you know what? It's a sport of inches, Jimmy. Some people say, "Oh, you know, it's this and that." It's inches sometimes between setting a guy up, making him step 2 or 3 inches to the left or to the right. That's what it takes sometimes.
Glasgow trying to escape and tie this match up.
Glasgow thought he had an escape there. But, you know, people don't understand. He had that front headlock, so he did technically have control.
Two wrestlers who do not yield takedowns often. So Stefan back to his feet, trying to tie this with an escape, and there it is. So we're tied at 1 with 90 seconds left. Glasgow and Griffith, two defending state champs.
Nice shot, reshot by Griffin. Oh, gets in on that ankle. Let's see if he can finish. Stefan Glasgow is just so powerful. You're going to have to hit something clean and quick to take him down.
Final minute now of this 152-pound battle royale. State champ versus state champ. Two state champs on the mat. Only one will leave with the hardware.
Oh, Glasgow slipped on the way in and almost lost it. But now, wait a second. Now he got back to the leg. And let's see if he can finish.
Stefan Glasgow trying to pull Griffin back in. Griffith trying to hang on.
Oh.
And Stefan Glasgow will get the deuce right there, keeping his toes in.
Wow.
So Shane Griffith now trails in the match.
Wow. And the reason why he got that was at the last second, Jimmy. He reached across and grabbed that ankle. You get those two ankles and the other guy's out of bounds. You're inbounds. That's two.
Glasgow will let him go. It's a 1-point lead for Stefan. Shane Griffith now in desperation mode. Final 15 seconds. Griffith. Stefan Glasgow, the Rutgers-bound senior, 9 seconds away. Stefan Glasgow will go to Rutgers as a two-time defending champ after 1 second. Still 1 second on the clock. Stefan is your state champion again.
Solid, nice backflip. Stefan Glasgow caps it off with a backflip. Great job. Great athlete, and wish him well going to Rutgers next year. Two-time state champion.
He got busy and he got the title. Stefan Glasgow, back-to-back as a New Jersey state champ, ends his career for Bound Brook in Crusader style. Gotta love it here at Boardwalk Hall. Great images. So Glasgow wins it at 152. Your winner at 132 pounds, the junior for Kingsway High School, Quinn with the win. Winner gets the first title for Kingsway on his resume.
Quinn, as a kid, you would come here all the time, every year. Not to watch, though. You were a runner bringing all the bout paperwork to the mat. While you were watching all those older guys wrestle, did you ever think, that's going to be me one day and I'm going to be a state champion?
Yeah, absolutely. As a little kid, you come here and you obviously take the bouts to the mat. It's a lot of fun. Your uncle runs the tournament, but you wrestle and you dream of winning a state championship every single day and every night. And so just it coming true, it's the best feeling in the world.
Your freshman and sophomore year, you fell short in the semifinals, so you kind of dubbed it the semifinal slump. The slump is finally over. How do you feel?
Feel amazing. Feels like it's been forever. The two losses, I didn't really get upset after them, but they hit hard. Not really upset, but motivational-wise, you want to push back past that semifinals. You want to get to the finals in front of everybody, wrestle in the big match. Everybody wants to be there, and the fact that it finally happened, it feels amazing.
So you get the victory that's eluded you the last 2 years. What did you learn about yourself in this championship bout that is going to help you next year?
Just that I can hang with anybody. I can win these big matches. I'm not going to run from the spotlight. I'm not going to fall in front of all the people. Just that I can wrestle my match in front of everybody, and I can win the state title in front of all the fans.
Okay, Quinn, congratulations.
Thank you.
Great stuff, great stuff. As we continue on to the final bout of the night, hope you are enjoying our live images here from Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City, New Jersey. You could, of course, watch a replay of this event anytime on News12Varsity.com. The 2017 New Jersey Wrestling Championships will live on News12Varsity.com. You can watch it as many times as you want.
You sure can. And, you know, I mentioned this earlier on, but I just want to say it again. It's you know, we commentate the matches and we tell people what they're watching and so on and so forth and the results. And what, you know, just our crew is amazing. Our crew, the guys in the background and the guys on the camera and, you know, and the producers and everybody involved just do a great job. And, you know, just with the replays and everything that they do during the course of an event like this and a telecast is amazing. And I just want to, you know, say thanks to them as well.
I've said it before, as we come down here to Atlantic City, the News 12 Varsity crew, we're in the business of images, and the wrestling championships provide some great images. Obviously the action on the mat, but then there's the amazing runs to the stands, the hugs from the parents, you know, just all the congratulatory moments from the coaching staffs to the kids, from their teammates to their family, because it's such a journey to get here to this legendary historic building, Boardwalk Hall. Sure, the crowd thins out as we go into the wee hours of Sunday night, but this is an event on a weekend in New Jersey where you have upwards of 10 to 15,000 people come down here to watch these wrestling championships. This magical climb that these kids make to Super Sunday. And it's come down to one final bout of the night. And, you know, they always set these bouts up to make the last couple bouts the main events.
Well,
right?
I was just going to say that. That was the co-feature or the co-main event, and this is the main event. And I've been in this building for a lot of boxing events, and this was the build-up. Mekhi Lewis versus Kyle Cochran.
Mekhi Lewis, a defending state champ out of Bound Brook High School. He's going off to Virginia Tech. He is undefeated at 45-0. There is Mekhi Lewis in his Bound Brook, and here comes the confident kid, Kyle Cochran, out of Paramus, New Jersey. Kyle Cochran, who really shocked the building last year with a late move on Kyle Beerdumpfel from Don Bosco in the final seconds to claim his first title. Last year, Kyle Cochran was a surprise. He's no surprise this year.
No, people know who Kyle Cochran is now, that's for sure. But he's up against an undefeated Mekhi Lewis, one of the best wrestlers in the state.
A senior Mekhi Lewis, a senior in Kyle Cochran. Cochran is bound from Maryland to wrestle for the Terps. Lewis, the Hokies of Virginia Tech. Champ versus champ. Cochran's only lost at the Beast of the East. Here's a quick pair on the board from Mekhi Lewis. Even though he lost at Beast of the East, he won the Super 32, did Kyle Cochran. Very decorated resume. These two guys have combined for 88 victories up against only one loss. That lost at the Beast of the East for Cochran.
Let me tell you, if you win the Super 32s, you are a stud. That is basically the preseason national championships. That's where a lot of these rankings come from. What did you do with the Super 32s? For Cochran to win that's extremely impressive.
Kyle Cochran was reflecting on wrestling Mekhi Lewis. He said, "We have wrestled before. It was in the 3rd grade, and he beat me." So Cochran on the board. Cochran, who has predicted victory throughout the week, that he would retain his New Jersey State title. It's just confidence, just good old-fashioned confidence, and you got to love that out of him. He has embraced his status as a New Jersey State champ, and he has the resume to prove it for what he has done since he won that title a year ago.
You know, sometimes, you know, it sounds like, oh, cocky's predicting that he's going to win. But on the flip side of that, you know, he has, like you said, he has the confidence and he believes in himself enough to say that. You know, Mekhi, but also, when you do things like that, what you do is you set yourself up to empower someone else. Mekhi Lewis, he's hearing the same thing other people are hearing, that Cochran's predicting victory. So he's coming out saying, okay, you want to take something from me. You want to take something that I've worked for away from me, and that's not going to happen. I'm not going to allow you to take my state title away. So this is just all the little behind-the-scenes drama that we have going on here as we come to the end of the first period, 2-1 for Lewis. But all the little side dramas, Jimmy, that we deal with during this, especially this one. This is kind of, like I said, the main event.
So we'll go to the second period now. Mekhi Lewis of Bound Brook on the bottom. He leads by a single point, 2-1.
Lewis stays in good position. Watch off the whistle how he tries to beat, with his elbows to his hips, tries to beat or prevent Kyle Cochran from getting underneath those arms. He jumped the gun, but watch. He either stands up, rotates, tries to change him over, or he'll take those elbows to his hips. He does that very well, Lewis. Right? Stop that leg from coming in. Cochran stays tight on that roll through. Oh, nice job by Mekhi Lewis getting a point, getting that quick point on him. Only ate up about 23 seconds of the period.
So Lewis now leads it by 2. And you can see now a little emotion creeping into this match. Final match of the 2017 New Jersey wrestling season. 2 defending New Jersey state champs. Both of these young men in their final wrestling matches of their careers. 2 seniors leaving it all on the mat here. Cochran takes a shot. Lewis right there to fend it off.
.50 seconds left in the second period. Cochran could use a big takedown here because he's going to go down in the third period, most likely. And if he can get a takedown right here, he could be up with an escape going in the third period instead of being down a point if he can get out on Mekhi Lewis.
Final
nice
30
shot.
seconds here.
Stop by Lewis. Lewis is extremely confident. He looks confident when he walks back to the center of the mat.
Mekhi Lewis trying to make it back-to-back for the Crusaders of Bound Brook here at the finish line of the state finals. Final 10 seconds now. No points right there at the end, so it'll stay a 2-point deficit for Kyle Cochran of Paramus. A year ago, Kyle Cochran basically won a state title at about the 5-minute, 55-second mark of his match with Kyle Beer Dumpler of Don Bosco. Final period here.
Cochran gets his escape. Here we go. We're set up now. Just about a minute 30. Here we go, Jimmy. I'm so excited right now because right now we got a minute and 30. Lewis up by 1. Cochran needs a takedown. Kind of limp arms out of there. Came over to around the leg, tried to cut the corner and limp out, but Lewis is just so quick. He just got right out of that.
Very similar to a position Cochran was in a year ago. The late takedown propelled him to victory. Makai Lewis now nursing that 1-point lead. Cochran looks up and sees 1 minute left in his high school career.
Oh, Lewis gets that ankle. Lewis is unbelievable. Looked like Cochran came in there, got a nice shot, and just at the end as he came up Cochran, Lewis catches that and hits him with an ankle pick and blows right through him and gets another takedown. He may have iced it up with 41 seconds left.
Makai Lewis, the smallest of leads a moment ago, sensing he needed something more. He knows Cochran's history late in these matches and picks up a huge pair of points there. He'll let him go for one, so now it's back to a 2-point lead.
The takedown ties it up.
Cochran looking for that takedown. Final 20 seconds now. Cochran's got to go here against Makai Lewis. Cochran now forcing the action. Makai Lewis. Final 10 seconds now. Lewis grabs on. Makai Lewis. We'll see the clock. Strike zero. Makai Lewis is a state champion again. Back to back for Lewis. And Makai Lewis will arrive at Virginia Tech as a 2-time New Jersey state champion. That is a match of ultimate resistance.
You gotta love this.
Nothing comes easy in a match like that.
Nothing comes easy, but look at this. 2-timer here for Makai Lewis. Undefeated season. Just a great season for Makai Lewis. Great job. Here, going to hug mom. You love to see that. Oh, boy. 3 Bound Brook wrestlers make it to the finals, and 3 champions.
Just a great story for Makai Lewis to win that one. A great opponent in Cochran, but he wins it. Stories all over the building. At 138 pounds, Gerard Angelo of Bergen Catholic looked like he was in control. Entered the 3 seed, Jake Benner of Ocean Township. Arguably the most exciting moment of the night. Benner is bringing the title back to Ocean. He's with Amanda.
Jake, you began wrestling in the 4th grade, and ever since then, your goal was to win a state title here. You've achieved your goal. How do you feel?
Best thing of my life. Couldn't wait for this moment. It's finally here.
So this was the first time that you made it to the championship mat, and right away you win a title. Do you kind of feel like the pressure is off you now that you have that title in your back pocket?
Yeah, pretty much. It could even put even more pressure on me now because I have 1 more year left in high school, but I love it, so I love the pressure.
You trailed in that last minute, so what was going through your mind, and how were you able to pull off the victory?
In my head, honestly, I was so calm. I was thinking, it's a 3rd period. I don't care what the score is. If I keep getting after it, I'll break this kid. Even if it takes 10 takedowns, I will break him, and I will get the state title. And I did not expect it to happen like that, but it worked out even better.
Well, Jake, you're a champion. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Jake Benner. And quickly, Nick Garone, if there's a vote for OW, your vote is for?
Jake Benner.
Jake Benner is Garone's OW. We will continue with our coverage of the finals right after this. What a night here on News 12 Varsity, the NJSIAA 2017 Wrestling State Championships. And if the trivia question is, who's the only wrestler in the history of Lenape Valley to win a state title, the answer is simple. He's with Amanda, Nick Palumbo.
You know, Nick, is there any way that you could have thought you could possibly end your high school wrestling career? You have a state title and you're the first wrestler from Lenape Valley to ever win that title. How do you feel?
I can't express it in the words. It's just an unbelievable feeling, and I got to share the experience with my coaches and my family and friends, and it just hasn't sunk in yet. It just feels unbelievable.
What do you think was the key to your success, not just today, but all season long?
The hard work I put in over the years, my work ethic, I don't know.
What was that moment like for you when you got to share your championship? You ran into your coach's arms. What was that moment like for you?
Sentimental. He's been with me my 4 years, and it means a lot to share the experience with him. He was a state finalist. He didn't win it, but I'm happy I get the job done for him.
Well, Nick, congratulations. You are forever in the Lenape Valley Wrestling book, the history book. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a great smile on the face of Nick Palumbo, and it should be, because he now finishes this season undefeated. An amazing, amazing run for Palumbo ends here at Boardwalk Hall. And it's just another one of the many storylines as you see all the media and parents and fans' final pictures here at this legendary building. But Nick Arone, we started this night talking about what this event means in the life of a wrestler. And I said to you, it's like a badge of honor you carry with you for the rest of your life. You know, if you go to college and wrestle, it doesn't matter. If someday you become a coach, if you're running a youth program in your town, you'll always be that guy who won a state title.
No doubt about it. You have that. It's history. You've done that. You've won a state title. Your whole life, even as a youth wrestler in your program, you're always thinking about winning a state championship and being in a situation where you could do that and you could win. And when it comes to fruition, it's just so special. I mean, it's an amazing thing for these kids to do, and they work very, very hard to do it, and it brought back a lot of great memories for myself.
You see Stefan Glasgow in that epic victory over Shane Griffith, and that's the thing about this. I mean, there were probably 50% of the people thought Stefan Glasgow would win this match. The other 50 thought Shane Griffith would win this match. But when you have two decorated, talented wrestlers, it's a game of inches. It's a match of inches. It's all the intrigue that makes this sport so great.
Well, like I had mentioned, you know, when you are in a match with a Glasgow and a Griffin, and you have those types of matchups, it's not big things, it's small things. It's cutting the corner quick on a takedown. It's finishing quickly. It's hitting a takedown or your shot cleanly. It's all these things, making a guy step into a shot by 2 inches, it could be. So it's not always these big high amp moves that are going on. Sometimes it's very small, but those small things make the difference in victory or defeat.
And it seems trivial to say, hey, if you came here to Atlantic City this weekend and you were disappointed, well, you just got to work harder, you got to put more time in. They all put a lot of time in. They all work really hard. What's always the message to you? You've been a coach now for a long time. You were an All-American wrestler at Syracuse. You won a state title in New York State at Patchogue Medford. What do you tell kids about the off-season when they come up a little bit short?
Well, what I tell them is right after something like this, a big event like this, a big tournament like this, I do like them at the culmination of a season to take a little bit of a break, to get some rest, heal up. But once you start banging again, you need to work on the things, you know, especially on a loss. A loss is worth 100 wins. 100 wins, because when you win, you don't think about the things you do wrong. You don't really think about that. But when you lose, you think, why did I lose? It makes you think about what you need to improve on. And that's that's what I tell my guys. You need to improve on the things that, if you're not good on bottom or if you're having trouble on bottom, you got to work on bottom. If you need to turn people at the end of a match, you need to work on top. So it's all different, but the main message, and I communicate to them, is you have to wrestle. You have to do something on the off the season, throughout the off season.
Nick Garone, great seeing you, buddy.
Same here, buddy. Great to work with you.
Nick Garone, as we conclude our coverage of the 2017 New Jersey Wrestling Finals. For all the guys from News 12 who brought you these sights and sounds of this epic night here. It started with Billy Janzer of Delsea. The Crusaders took third as a sophomore, and it just continued on along the night. So many great stories along the way. Eric Chaconis going back-to-back as a state champion in the heavyweight division. I mean, there were surprises along the way. Who could have saw Anthony Clark of Del Barton with that victory of his? And, of course, Pat Glory, who had lost in the finals as a freshman, lost as a sophomore, wins it as a junior, and it just continued on. Nicky Ramo, the stories through and through. Who could forget all of these great images along the night? And then it concluded with the big cats, Mackay Lewis, Stefan Glasgow with the backflip, and Mackay puts the Boundbrook Crusaders as another champion. Good night from Atlantic City on News 12 Varsity.